Welcome to medieval life, where dinner is mostly roots, the plague is frequent, and bathing is just the suggestion. Your neighbors are a bit weird, the water is suspicious, and these poor, wide-eyed freaks have absolutely no idea that you are their only hope. I feel that it's staring into my soul, like it knows. Like it knows in the third grade. I sent a heartfelt letter to Danny DeVito. I told him that he was my hero, and I drew him riding a dinosaur. He never wrote back. I've never felt whole since. I had just finished watching Batman Returns, and I was at that scene where he bit that guy's nose off, and I had the exact same wide eyes as this freak looking at me right now. Shock, horror, arousal, love, I don't know what it was. You can't really tell what this person's thinking. But anyway, let's get to the build. See that? Boom. Whole area, light fortification. Well, hello everybody. I'll put the map seed in the description of the video. We are going with a nice coastal area. Let's select these rules. So we're going to be playing on the challenging difficulty with two exceptions. I do want non-depletable small mineral deposits on, and I want to reduce the territory upkeep because I'd like to make a really big area. Select our aspiration, relax, and play at our own style, no limitations. Village name Perfectville. Tech to Cat's the leader, big old kitty. Okay, so this is the hard part. We need the perfect area for our main settlement. So I am going to be building a castle-like perfect introductory city area. Now right here is amazing. The only problem is you can see that the regions around it may or may not be big enough. I am going to need both regions up here if I wanted to do what I'm thinking about doing. If I take this region and buy this region, I can do it. This is perfect. So we're going to buy this region. We're going to slap down our village center. Now you can move this later, so don't freak out, okay? We're going to buy that. Then we're going to go to the territory. Your first expansion territory is free. That's right. Free. So you want to get something as big as possible. Now, it would have been nice, but we need this to be tall. Now, you can see that there is a stone deposit right there. So what we're going to do is try to, like, get our width. This seems to be the right spot. So we're going to build a circle city. So what I want to do is go down to the smallest point. Now, either the circle or square, if you tick it up 11 times, it's the perfect size for a house. So we're going to tick this up 11 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, the purpose of what I'm doing, I'm going to get out a template area that has 18 houses. So at medium density, it will give you 108 people. And at high density, it will give you 180 people. So we're going to start off going 5 across from the center section. So you're going to take it, and you're going to go like this. Now, you want to do this all in one go, and you want to wait until they've moved into every house before upgrading anything because it becomes a pain. It becomes quite a pain. All right. So all you're doing at this point is placing these circles as tightly and close together as possible. So until you have 3 on top. Now you can see we might have a problem here with this big thing of stone. They might not be able to build a house there. And that's okay. It's not always going to go the way that you want it to. Now, the concept here is I can buy all the territories. You have to be within 150 meters of your work site, right? This is going to be a walled-in city. There you go. And then I just remove the center. Here's the deal. We're going to get our prosperity up. I'm going to use village fortifications, and I'm going to use the wall to get light fortification. Full enclosure. That will give you light fortification throughout the whole thing, and you don't need a tower. So we're going to buy our first points. I'm going to get the manor. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to get storage. I want to get fishing. The next step is getting light fortifications. Either going into castle fortifications and village fortifications. I'd still need to get village fortifications because I need to be able to build a watch post to do patrols. Now, you want to wait until everyone moves into their house so they're built up. Because if a road is going through a housing area, they can't build a house. It becomes chaos. So, like, get all of your houses up before you do this stuff. For this design, though, I'm only going to go up to medium density in mine. If I want to go up to high density, I can add a couple of towers later on. You can see here, rustic adds passive, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is when you use these towers, it looks bad. It looks like I'm going, it looks like Lord of the Rings Eye of Sauron kind of stuff. We're not going to do that, okay? That isn't going to be how I do this. What we're going to do is we're going to go into village fortifications and get a watch house up in the middle. And we're going to build a wall around this whole thing. Now, it's going to be really resource intensive, and it's not exactly the smartest way to do it. But I want to make a cool looking city. So now we can unpause the game, and we can start getting into the very basics of everything. So the first thing I need to do is build a builder's workshop. Now, I'm going to place that right around this area down here. Now, the beauty of the situation that we have here, with our housing right here, it can supply jobs all around this area, probably all the way even over to here. So we're going to have a nice area. And if I want to build more circle-like cities with walls around them, that's going to be a gravy train. So let's get this bad boy on the road. You can see they're building. We're going to have to watch this. We might have to forbid zones, but we want to get as many people in as fast as we possibly can. The very first thing that we want to do, get up a lumber camp. We're going to place our lumber camp right here, and we're going to build it. I'm going to leave some space for a warehouse, and we're going to place the warehouse right yonder, right next to it. I'm going to leave the warehouse middle open so that I can expand it in the future. The logging camp can be expanded to its left side. And then the next thing I want to do is get sawmills. And we'll probably actually have more sawmills than you think you would need. It gets so big into my designs, I typically have like 4. All right, that's perfect. Now, another thing we want to do once we get this all hammered out is put a well in the center of the design. I can't really see what's going on, and I don't want people running up there and building things. So I'm just going to place the well down here for now so they have a spot to drink. And we want to get ourselves up a gatherer to get some berries. We're going to put that right here. And we can fish too. So I'm going to get us up a fishing camp as well. There we go. We got our fisher up. All right. We're in business. Let's also just preemptively get up, if we can. We're going to want a market area. So it looks like the housing's going to right about here. Let's take a gander. Now, I'm going to have market stalls and stuff like that in the center here. But right now, I'm trying not to have people come up here and mess around. So we might lose one house because of that stone right there. That's okay. Like I said, it's never going to be absolutely perfect. Right here is a good spot for market stalls, as we can see. I am probably going to put a church. You could put a church in the center of the design. Again, I kind of want to build something that looks a little nicer this time. So I'm going to have like my own little church area, but we'll get that up. Okay, so money is starting to be a little tight, so let's just get the basics up and let's go from there. We got the warehouse. So the next thing that I want to do is probably get up the granary. Having a granary right next to all these market stalls actually is not a terrible spot. We just want to make sure that we have roads and areas they can go. This is close to the fishing too, so we'll do it right there. Okay, let's speed this up just a tad bit. Another thing I want to talk about that's probably not on your radar, because I've been reading the discords, I've been scouring videos. There's something called the ×3 bug, and that is when you're on ×3 mode, certain productions don't produce as fast. Grain, for instance, you get lower yields for some reason than you do when you're on ×1 mode. That's really interesting because I think I've noticed too, I'm like, why do I have like 120 milk now? It's like I haven't changed production, I haven't done this or that. Play on higher speeds. I guess this has been an issue going on for 6 years, is what I've read, like since it's been in early access, but there are issues with that efficiency. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. So we have a stone right here, and it looks like we have a stone up there, and we have iron over there. That's a beautiful thing. We're also going to want to get a stone cutter up. Yeah, that is a stone. All right, we're going to build stone right here. Get him up. Now, I'm a crazy man. I always tell them to build too many things at once. Honestly, getting the logging camp going is usually one of my first priorities. We have 3 builders right there. They're starting to get the houses up in the order that I want them to. Now, like I said, do not put any building projects. You do not want them growing roads. That's the beauty of them slowly building things up. That's why I haven't put anything like a market stall or anything in the center of the design. If you get a road going through things, it becomes quite chaotic. What you'll have to do is use a forbidden zone tool to tell them not to go there until everything disappears. So we're going to try to get them to build all of these houses before I start expanding anything in that area. Now, we do want to get a church up as soon as possible, too, because we're getting a really big negative from not having service. They also want water and all types of stuff. So we're going to slap up the well to a higher priority. We're going to need stone, so we got to get this stone guy up as well. So let's get some Jesus. All right. Now, I want my church to look magnificent, right? I want it to be just the most amazing thing anyone's ever seen. And even though it looks like everyone else's church, we can just pretend that it's special. And I'm going to place it right here. And we're going to build out a nice big church. It's not that special, I'm sorry. But There it goes. We're doing it. All right. So this is a nice little industrial area. Once we get this up, we're going to have different industrial areas. It looks like we have stone over here, so we can have some more stone. Looks like we also have iron over here. So this area is definitely going to be going in that direction. We have a lot of area open over here where I'm probably going to end up doing some bread. They're amazing, and they are exceptionally alert. I don't know what they're on, but I wish I had some of it. This guy looks like he's constantly aware of what everyone is thinking and or dreaming, and he's just really overwhelmed. So we got our camp going, we got our housing going. Once I get the wall around this bad boy, it's gonna look pretty nice, and we have a good thing going. So we're gonna break the rule, we're gonna go into ×3 mode, and then we're gonna get all this stuff built up. Now, one thing about this game is I really wish they would add an auto recruit feature. I don't like the mobile game like kind of feel, having to click on every single person to join my village. That's the way it is. And another good thing about getting more villagers is we're building up our prosperity. So let's get 3 people in the berry hut for now. I really like the way that the circle houses look, but you can see this is really nice. It's really optimizing our space. Like I said, we're going to be able to fit 108 people in medium density, which is more than enough for the early game. And by if I were to place my houses here, it would limit the range that those workers could go, but by placing it at the very top, like so, it's great. Now, this took me about 5 or 7 rolls to find a map like this, so that's why I'm giving you guys the seeds so you can follow along with how I did this, because it is really difficult to find an area. All right, we're going to cut this whole thing down. I will eventually get a forester, but we don't need it yet. We don't need it quite yet. I wanted to focus on prioritizing all these other areas. All right, we got more houses starting to pop up. This is terrific. More villagers now, yeah. All right, yeah, getting that well up is definitely one of the early game priorities that makes the most sense when you look at happiness negatives. Like getting up a well is 20%, right? Castle's gonna come later, it's gonna come down. I'm gonna turn this whole little island down here into a castle. We could also actually turn this little, ooh, that looks better. I like this one. Yeah, I like the shorter areas. I mean, this would require quite a bit. All right, we got berries, we got stone, we got wood coming in. We just need to let them kind of get to it. A lot of things are popping up now. I definitely have them building quite a bit. Now, another thing I will say is that you can technically, in my opinion, fit about as many houses with squares as circles. You can actually get away with fitting 8 in an area that big. Squares actually probably make a lot more sense if you want to have like the best density possible. Again, though, with this design, I'm kind of going for something that I think is aesthetically pleasing. At the same time, the circles do a pretty darn good job. All right, finally. Okay, we're going to put berries at the market trader. The fisher is now finally up. Let's get someone out fishing. We're going to put fish in the second stall, so we're going to have 2 types of food. Now, you only need 1, but I've found it's nice to have multiple foods going just from the start. Just a personal preference of my playstyle. You don't have to follow everything I do to the T. All right, we're now a village. Woo! Perfection. But you can see letting the houses just kind of naturally expand, it reduces roads to only the points that have been built, which is really, really nice. Like I said, it gets really chaotic when you're trying to build big areas. So it's smart to do it like right from the start like this. And we're getting pretty big. I need to prioritize this sawmill now. All right, let's get this gent. All right, the houses are coming up. We got another house expansion over there. Very good. All right, we're gonna get to a point now where I probably do need to get up a couple other buildings. Now, one of the main things that you do want to get up pretty early is your manor house. This is incredibly important to being able to shake the town down. Now, I'm going to want this close enough that the tax offices make sense. It may even be nice to have my tax office in the middle of all these buildings. I haven't decided that part yet. The Great Hall and the manor itself need to be placed in a location that makes sense. So let's look. All right, we have this whole area over here. I'm going to place the manor right here, and eventually it will be big. We're going to place it right here. And we want to get this up pretty much ASAP so we can start shaking the town down to buy labor splendor. All right, sawmill is ready to go. We got 2 people in the sawmill. Well, let's make it a couple more. Maybe not. Yeah, probably not. All right, I'm going to add another resource, which is fish, and we're going to increase this. Perfect. So now we have our food groups. We have all the basic stuff going on. This is great. we can actually move the well now. What's actually kind of interesting is, as you can see, there are gaps in between these houses, which is really cool. I could technically place the well right here, and I think it doesn't hit any of this stuff. So you can actually, we could put stalls, we could do all types of weird stuff here. Very cool. I'm gonna place the well right there. Okay, it's time to get the forester camp down now. We're gonna place the forester camp probably, I'm gonna place them down right here for the time being. All right, we got wood coming in, we got boards. You kind of just have to let them do their thing at this stage of the game and just keep recruiting. It's a little dull, to be honest. All right, got some more people. Getting this area up. Very cool. All right, definitely want to prioritize the warehouse. That was a big mistake right there, not doing that, but it's okay. It's not like, you know, time-traveling medieval people are going to bust my door down if I make a mistake. It's good to prioritize buildings, especially when you get into situations where you need storage and or you want to start trading. But we do need to also get the Great Hall up and a lot of other stuff. We come into trade right now. We need 20 boards to unlock our first trade. We could buy 20 bread once we do that, and then we can unlock another trade, which is really, really great because you can sell them boars, you can sell them honey. That's amazing. Yeah, that's actually amazing. Selling honey at 5 a pop would be great. A lot of early game economics. We're most likely going to do a tavern resort like I did in my other video. They're just, it's really lucrative. The taverns are just very lucrative. All right, 2 more people into the fray. We got to get them jobs. Looks like I can put someone in the granary now. So we're going to assign berries and fish to be stored here. Put 2 workers in there. And it looks like I'm going to need to buy a region with fish. I don't have any okay. That was, I thought I had fish in my area. I didn't. Oh, man. Okay, well, we'll turn this off for now until we buy a region with fish. It's good to have your infrastructure prepared, though. Let's pop up the sawmill 1 more worker. I know we're not really doing too hot on the wood production right now, but that's okay. All right, we're in good shape. The big bottleneck right now, as you can see, is boards for sure, but I definitely want to get this warehouse up so I can start storing things properly. The housing is doing amazing, starting to really start to show. This is great. We should definitely prioritize that well. I think we're getting a negative from not having it. No, we got negative 1% from water, not bad. Service negative 20. The church is definitely a high priority. I think we're also going to want to try to get another lumber camp. This is kind of crazy, and it's part of playing on the harder difficulties is sometimes things just don't make as much sense as you think they would. So we're just going to get a lumber camp up here. No roads should be built. Let's keep them out of the housing area, though, just in case they accidentally make a road. But things are popping up just the way they need to, so this is great. All right, got our lumber camp up. Let's get this show on the road. We just need a lot more wood. All right, cool. So we're going to place here logs, boards, stones, and tools. And we're going to put 1 person in there for now, because that's all we have. And now we have a spot for all that. Very good. Forester camp's getting up too. All right, we're in business. We should have a lot more wood coming in now. Beautiful. Look at those houses going up. Getting more people. So we just want to continue to expand. I want to get all of these houses built up as fast as possible so that I can start really playing the game. This is the hardest part in the design, is just making sure people aren't walking over your future expansion areas. But I love the way that these road systems are working. And what we're going to have is a wall going around this whole thing with gates and all types of stuff, too. It's going to look great. Now, I like the castle fortification wall a lot more than the village fortification wall. This wouldn't be a bad area for industry, too, over here. This spot down here. There's potential for boars and logging and all types of stuff over there. So maybe we will do that. I do need to unlock a fishing spot. All right, cool. We're in business. There we go. Got a lot of new houses popping up. Got 2 more individuals. 2 more in the warehouse. All right, we're going to pull 1 out of the warehouse, and we're going to put it into the forester camp. Want to make sure we're reforesting this entire area. Perfect. We only have a few more housing spots to go. And technically speaking, you don't even need to have the center open. I like having the center open for the watch post. It makes the patrols really easy because they're just going back and forth between that building. Nice. We got a lot of lumber. Sawmill's going strong. Berry gents are going strong. Everything's doing pretty darn well. We may even want to move the berry gents at some point. 2 more folk. Once we get 20 excess boards, I can start opening trade routes, and we can start selling polished stone. Now, polished stone is definitely going to be one of the things I want to go to as soon as possible. Once I get the manor up, I can start shaking people down, or I can just buy it now. We need 25 labor splendor. It's pretty expensive. We're going to spam bushes for it, and I'll show you that trick in a bit. But being able to just shake the whole town down with the Great Hall is just insanely great. All right, the village is really starting to come together now. You can see, though, that they're forming roads, but they naturally just fill in the housing where it needs to be, so that's great. Now, I'm just going to leave this housing zone there. I like to visually have a representation of how big the area is. And we're going to wall this whole thing in to give it light fortification. So we're not going to have to build a tower to the sky to get it. It's just, we're going to get it from just having it walled in. It's going to be great. All right, the church is almost up. The manor house is almost up. It's just boards and boards. I should have probably prioritized one. I should probably prioritize the church to make them happier. Manor is right there. Just a couple more planks. Church is right there. Gonna pop in the village priest already. Perfect. Church is up. There we go. Nice. Now we can make this bigger as we need to. 24. We have 29 individuals, and it has enough for 24. Definitely gonna have to expand that at some point. I need to get trade going as fast as possible now. Yes, we just got 50 gold. All right, we can shake everybody down here in a second. Looks like I actually can do it right now. So, Operation 8, Shake Down the City, has commenced. We just shook everybody down, and I'm going to build some really pretty bushes now. So we're going to pop ourselves into 25 Labor Splendor really, really easy. So select the build tool, edit building, go into monument decorations, and you can see that we have weather vanes. So here's the deal. I need to get to 10 prosperity, and I need to buy tier 2 decorations in order to do the spamming of the bushes. So I could do the weather vanes. They're really good. That will get us right there 18, and that's because you get 1.5 additional splendor on the Great Hall. So we're gonna do that. That's going to be great. That's going to push us right to almost 25. So, yeah, the bushes are nice. Monetary, I mean, that is a lot of tools. And that kind of sucks. But I like to shake the village down for money. You're going to need a lot of it. And the peasants won't mind. So we got 2 more houses that can go up. This house won't be able to go up because of the stone. All right, we want to get more people in here to demand those housing locations. Once I get all of my houses up, we're going to be in good shape. But I love the way the Circle City looks. It looks so... like, it's grid, but it looks aesthetically pleasing. Like, this is a really cool way to build your city, in my opinion. It's going to look great when I have the wall around it and when I have the centralized locations. Everything about this is going to look really nice. So, okay. We got the church. We got the shakedown. My best builder will draw you a thing. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Now we're in common path tier 2. That was luck. So we're going to buy tier 2 decorations, and we're going to buy a stonemason hut to do polished stone for trade, and we're going to buy a village edict. That's really, really important. Let's go to our edicts now. Royal book. Edicts. So the edict we're going to do is this thing called careful planning. Refund 50% of the tools we use after constructing. This is huge. If you do not do this, you will hate everything. It is so amazing to get half your tools back, because we're going to be spending hundreds of tools. This will greatly accelerate your gameplay, just tremendously. I don't want to, no, I'm going to continue my own. But yeah, because like there's so many tools we need. We're going to have to be purchasing tools and importing tools. It's going to save us money. It's going to save us time. It's just massive. Nice. Tools and some points. Perfect. Okay. We're in business, so we just need a little bit more splendor. I have the money for it. I have the tier 2 decorations. We got the coops. So I need 10. All right? I need 10 more. So we're going to just spam the bushes over here on the market. You could also, if you want, just like start preemptively upgrading all these gens, but that only gives beautification. What we want is that nice splendor. Now, we don't need to spam the bushes in an ugly way here. We can spam the bushes in a slightly less ugly way. Actually, yeah, we don't want anything there because that's where the walls are going to go. And I'm just going to do that many just to get that +5. And I'll do a few over here. You could also do other things. There are benches that add nice aesthetics. So we can add some benches. And we can do 1 oak planter. This will cost a lot of money, but let's do it. There we go. Tier 2 labor splendor. So we have a nice little market area. Now we can upgrade to light fortifications and a tier 2 labor privilege for sure. The tavern for sure. This is how we're going to make the majority of our money. And butchering, so we can get into boar hunting. And farming. Okay. We're going to want to get a lot of that stuff up. Perfection. All right. 1 individual. Let's pause this bad boy. So hunting we can see. Not a whole lot. No, not a whole lot of opportunities there. I was hoping that this little area over here would have opportunities, and it does. So I think we are going to purchase this so we get access to fish and we can get access to boars. And we can do some more logging down there. We might actually just start moving all of our logging down there and turn this into a producer zone. So that's something we can do. All right. The big kicker is now that we have 20 planks, let's go into the royal book. Let's go to our privileges down here. So there's a few. Let's go down the line. Trade price bonus of 10% from village with labor allegiance. Not really that great. Civic chores, labor buildings upkeep reduced by 25%. That's really cool late game. Fair reputation, newcomers ignore happiness, immigration factor. This is really good if you want to keep shaking down your town for money and get immigration coming in. I use it for that purpose. This is actually one of my favorites. Additional taxation. This is good for taxation and usually like medium game, in my opinion. Dutiful payers, residential taxation and happiness effect is decreased by 25%. This is great too. Now, let me explain. You're probably wondering, why have I not put a tax office up? Why haven't I done this XYZ? You don't really get a whole lot of taxes in the early stage of the game. Like, you need at least a tax office with commoners, and you need a lot of people. You don't get a whole lot of money taxing people. I get way more money just shaking the town down. So, I mean, taxes do add up in the long run, but early game, I have not found taxes to be the way to go. Every time you trade with a village at labor allegiance, you gain 1 influence with this estate. This is really good for building up labor influence points. So, out of all of them, the fair reputation one is probably one of my favorites because it really heightens immigration, especially with my strategy of just shaking the town down a lot to fund expansion. Because like, you need money to build certain buildings, and it's a lot easier to shake your people down with the manor than it is to wait the 4 or 5 hours to get that money naturally through other means. So that's what we're going to do. And that is just my play style. I really don't want to debate it. It's just the way that I play the game. And just if you like what you see, use it. And if you don't like what you see, then don't worry about it. All right. So we need to unlock this trade route. So that means that this 20 planks are not stored. So you can see that we have 17 stored, 2 in transit, 1 in production output. Now, in order to trade and or upgrade, everything it's based off of what is in storage, not how many you have in general. So we got to let that build up a little bit there. But now we were able to do a lot of stuff. I actually really want to get this trade post going. So I'm going to hold off on doing anything. All right, we have 20 in storage now. So unlock that. Cool. We have a couple things to build now. One is a stonemason hut, which I'm going to get up right here. So you can see we need money. Operation Shakedown, right? All right. We're probably going to need another warehouse, or we're going to need to purchase the warehouse expansion. I'm probably going to purchase the warehouse expansion because I don't have enough workers for all the things that they want. It looks like we have all the houses up, but 1, 2 still. Perfect. All right, we're in good shape. Really good shape. We got a lot to do now. I need to get meat going. We have a lot of options. The most generous offer, accumulate 25 stone. Get 50 fish. Gain 50 fish. I don't need fish. Not yet. We got enough berries for everybody here. All right, a lot to do. So, with all that said, we're going to go into the Great Hall, edit building. We're going to add a sub-building. We are going to start adding tax offices. We do want to get taxes going, but it is not, as I said, a big priority. I'm going to place this down. I'm not using the towers at all for the light fortification. I'm going to use walls. Again, I'm going for aesthetics over efficiency for this, but technically speaking, it's very, once you get the walls, you get light fortification on everything, and it's really good. It looks better than having a giant Gandalf tower. All right, and then the next thing that we want to do, go to the manor, is we want to build a watch post, and we want to centralize it. Now, we're going to have a few buildings over here in the middle. So we got this big area. Look how much space I have. Isn't that amazing? So we're going to place this here. I'm going to leave room for future buildings. We could even do a market. We could do all the market stalls in the center here, which wouldn't be too terrible. So let's actually... Isn't this crazy? Look, I can actually put that all the way back there. So we're going to put this here. We're going to put a door. You don't even have to have a tower. Now, if I were to put a tower here, I could hit quite a bit of buildings. But this is what I'm talking about. It's like, I can either use walls, which are resource intense and look good, or I can do some crazy stuff like that. I don't want to do that. We're not even going to have a tower. It's just going to be a nice little building. But this is pretty expensive. Let's build that bad boy up. But that's for patrols. We're pre-planning. So it is nice to have some areas, right? If I placed it center and made the tower a little bit bigger, it'd be nicer. Yeah, it's going to be expensive. So let's go and look at this. So we're going to use village fortified walls. And we're going to use gatehouses. Now, gatehouses are where the expense is. You can see they're one tool. And the walls are just wood. We have a lot of wood. So let's get this up. Now, I am a man who doesn't care about the cost. Because I'm building my grand ambition. So you got to place these bad boys first or the walls just get a little wonky. It says too far, but it's not. Okay. All right. And we're going to go around. This is going to be the kind of hard part because I want my walls to look a little nice, but that looks really weird, right? So we're just going to click build on that. And then I'm going to start over again. I don't like that circling that it does. So what we're going to do is build one post there. There we go. So you can see now it's tight. I like that. See that? Boom. Whole area, light fortification. So then I put a patrol, and I just have a couple patrol people, and I get everyone at the medium density. So you can get the heavy density, like I said, if you just build in the center, going to your monuments. If you build a castle, the castle keep gives passive heavy fortification. So every single one of these buildings, just at this height, right here, if I were to put this right here, all these would be heavy density. So I'm aware of these things, but that I don't think that looks that great. And medium density is actually fine. Like, you get 6 people. Heavy density, you can have 10. So you go from 2 to 6. That's 100 people. You only have so many jobs around an area, right? So you can build multiple settlements, but this is the way that I wanted to do this. It looks nice. You have a little wall around everything. So you don't have to build these giant Gandalf towers. Like, you literally just need light fortification and patrol. So you can do that with walls and a building. Now, if I use towers, I need guards, and I need all these people. With this, I'm going to need just 2 people on patrol, and that's it. Yeah, this is going to be a little pricey. It's only 5 tools, though, 25 boards, and most of it's wood. So we're in great shape. So once this guy gets up here, and we got 2 houses people need to move into, we're going to be in good shape. Now, we're only going to have 102 people maximum in that area. Another thing that I can do is when I get heavy, if I get down to city fortifications, or I could go into stone castle wall and get the modest castle watchtower. Or down here, I get the city watchtower. It projects city fortification. And a tower here will hit all these houses. And a tower looking in here will hit all these houses. So that's most likely what I'm going to do for heavy fortification. If I come to that point, I kind of feel like I am going to need to go to high density here eventually if I expand all the way around to this, right? But you could also get to heavy density with the city belfry and the city market. So you can place a city market in the center and put a belfry and also get a passive heavy. So if you don't want to have guards and you want to reduce that upkeep of people, that's another way. There's tons of ways to get heavy density in the game. I just don't think necessarily having these giant towers in the middle of residentials looks entirely too appeasing. So I just wanted to have kind of like a fortified medium density area. I like it a whole lot. All right, so something kind of weird's going on here because it's saying that there's insufficient housing, but it's not populating this spot. There we go. It just was, there was something off, and this one has a road in it now. Sometimes you can get lucky and it will still build on a road. Other times, not so much. All right, I don't need this anymore because we got the wall out. We're going to remove this. This is what I was talking about where things get a little annoying. We're going to move this and we're going to create a forbidden zone here and get rid of that road. And then we'll place a house there later. But this is why you want to get all your houses up. It becomes quite a headache. And yeah, we definitely need to get into medium density soon. So that's my goal right now. Like, again, too, when you build this way, you take the game in a direction that it's not meant to go. You're supposed to build up small and do XYZ. But I never play that way. I like to have my big projects in my future thinking. And this is going to look really cool. Like, once I have this housing plot all hashed out, I'm going to have industry, I'm going to have farmland all around it. Like, we're going to have farmland going out this way. We're going to have a bread production going out that way. It's going to be great. The road is already disappearing. I'm going to try. We're going to go one click up. There we go. Cool, we got it. And we could try again over here, but I've never been able to build on stone unless I remove the resource. Okay, we're going to remove the resource then, because it would be great to have that house. Not going to lie. And that's a sin, right? But it's a sin I'm willing to commit because I do have 2 stone deposits. Now, iron, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, let's remove the stone deposit so we can build that house. Because it's really nice having all of your stuff. We got it going on. So it's going to take a bit for this all to get up. All right, so the tax office is good. Let's start putting someone into taxing. You can see that because I'm building buildings, I do have some upkeep situations. So Operation Shakedown has commenced. Now remember, because I have that policy where, oh yeah, we have we have 7 villagers unemployed, which really reduces immigration. So I'm shooting myself in the foot not employing these people. I got a little distracted with the building of everything. So let's go through. There's a nice little area here. So go to your royal book, right? Go to buildings, and you can see where people, like, let's do 2 tax collectors. You can just manually add right here. It's great. So I have 5 unemployed people. The next thing I want to do is buy this region down here. Get refined foods and all that kind of stuff. We're going to definitely have a market area in the center of this. Right now I'm just trying to get it all up. Cool, we did remove it. Oh, whoopsie daisy. This is the hard part, trying to get it to fit inside. I think we can do it. I just need to be a little... I kind of messed up. I should have kept the original everything. But this is cool. I also like the way that the circle houses look. It's really neat. All right, perfect. All right, I guess I'll just throw someone into this village market just because I can. And it looks like berries are starting to get a little bad. Okay. I'm going to do something that I'm not too happy with. We need 100. So this is going to be interesting. And it could put us into a bad situation. But I have to counteract the fact that we're just going to build another berry hut. There's an enormous amount of berries everywhere. What's kind of funny is we even have berries inside of the town right here. So I'm going to put another berry hut right here. And I'm just going to let it kind of roam around. We're going to need a little money. We're going to shake the town down. There we go. Yeah, we're running out of food. That's never good. All right, there's plenty of places to cut down. All right, I'm going to make this area as big as possible. I think it's potentially the wall. There we go. All right, it loops a little bit there. Yeah, that's going to block it. This is actually more than enough room. So we should be good. I'm just going to have to wait it out. All right, let's build this for sure so we can start selling that. All right, we got the tax office going. I don't think it's bringing in too much, but let's go and start our taxes. Taxation, we're going to boot it up to 1. It's going to bring in 18 a month. It's going to bring like 5 a month. That's my point. Early stage of the game, you're just not going to make that much money. We're going to go into the tavern next, but we got this all going. We got gatehouses on pretty much every end. And yeah, things are going to look nice once the roads are all meshed correctly. There we go. Perfect. So this keeps everybody in a nice little fortified area. Shaking down one more time. And then I'm going to use that money to buy this region down here. And now I can start fishing. The fish spot right there. Should be able to get to. And we'll come over to the market stall. Place fish in there. I might need to move this berry man somewhere else. He seems to be doing all right. There's a lot of berries around, but it's just not enough. All right, the fishes are going now. The next thing I'm going to need is a bridge. So unlock the wooden bridge. All right, we got patrols now. So now we can go to medium density. Cool. We got that house going up. Perfect. We got the whole thing. This is beautiful. I'm only going to need 1 patroller, and it says not enough guardsmen, but extended guard coverage. So we just needed 2 guards for this area, and probably 1 patrolman is more than enough. And then now I can just kind of do this. Highlight each of the houses. You can also just do a dot. I'm going to go this route, though. There we go. So every house has a patrol over it. And we'll just connect them like that. In the middle, and then that's it. That's it. Now these are all going to be medium density housing. That's 108 people. Yeah, because that's 18 times 6 people per house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. So that's how easy it is to get to medium density, and kind of like with the circle city design. We're in beautiful shape. Next, I'm going to expand my warehouse storage. I need a spot for shaped stone. So I can't sell or trade shaped stone without storage for it. So we'll probably shake the city down one more time. We have our tax office. We have our great hall right here. Got a secondary lumber camp, which I'm probably going to move. And by probably, I mean I'm going to absolutely move this. I'm going to move this over here. Okay. Go to the bridge tab. So this is going to be the hard part. We need to get a bridge up. 35 boards. I only have 2. So we're going to get a bridge up going this way. And then we'll get some lumber camps over here. I'm going to pull these guys out since they can't work. Hire these 2 other individuals. So we're kind of hurting right now. I'm going to increase the berries. I neglected some of my food supplies, but we'll be okay. We have enough food coming in right now. We'll probably put 2 people in patrols just to make it nice. But yeah, you just need the 1 watch post. This whole area is going to be great. All right, got our second berry hut up. I'm going to get him going at full speed. Ooh, all the berries are pretty much gone out of this area. Might move them up into another spot. This will be good for now. But yeah, we need to focus on food. But we just doubled our berries, so that's going to be a really good first step. And the stonemason will definitely be next. We need 8 tools for that. But remember, because of that policy we have, we get 4 of those tools back when this is built. That's why it's so important to get that stuff going. There's a lot of other little industries that I've been neglecting. Sheep, all that stuff. So now that we have the population stabilized, and we have the main area where we're going to build almost everything around, this is going to be amazing. I can now start going into all of the different industries. So bread, wheat production, sheep production, all that stuff. We can go into all that jazz. We have this area over here for meat hunting and butchering, and that's great. Extra wood, all that. And I guess we potentially could turn this into another... This wouldn't be a bad spot for the monastery, to be honest. This plain area back here. Monastery, castle over there. Try to keep it all separate. Very nice. Yeah, none of them can get to the lumber camp. But once we get this village thing up right there, we'll be in good shape. The walls are almost all up. I just want it to look a little straighter. Very good. That won't take them more than a couple seconds to rebuild that. There we are. So we got ourselves a nice little six-sided area, just like all the houses inside of it. Very cool. So all of these are going to get light fortification now, once this is rebuilt, and we'll be in good shape. All right, we got 4 people. Not bad. The forester seems to be doing a good job. The bridge is going up. Let's high prioritization on that. All right, we have 4 unemployed individuals. Looks like everybody's employed that needs to be. Food is like slightly coming in at an okay rate. This berry maker over here. Nice. We just upgraded. All right, I'm gonna prioritize the village fortification. But all of these houses are upgrading into medium density, so now they can house 6. So this is 108 people right off the bat. So we can build quite a good city from where we are right here. We just need to kind of expand on top of stuff. So a little bit of a chaotic start to do things this way, especially because food wasn't really dialed in very well. But everything seems to be doing decently right now. Oh, that's the builder's workshop I moved. Whoopsie daisy. Well, the builder's workshop can be up here too. It's not a bad spot for it. We're going to move that guy over there. All right, more individuals. Okay, the fish are coming in. The berries are doing great. It looks like we just need more boards. We'll have a bridge. And then we'll have this whole area over here for pigs and all that kind of stuff. This is going to actually be really, really decent. The forester camp's doing a good job. I think I'm going to move forestry and logging and all that. Like, probably... I mean, this isn't a bad spot for it. It's not a bad spot for it. But yeah, we'll definitely want to get the logging camp going on over there. All right, cool. So everything over here is perfect. So look at that. We have light fortification and patrols, residentials, and very, very minimal cost. Very minimal cost for all of that. This is perfect. If anything, I might want to get another patroller. But you can see that he's just going house to house and doing his job. Pretty easy for him to hit everywhere. I think he's prioritizing based on what areas need more. Might need another patroller. Maybe. I don't know, though. I think this is good. It's the way it is. So all these are upgrading now. So that's a huge cost. That's 20 boards an upgrade. So that kind of hurts. We definitely need to get this bridge up at some point. But food is back on the menu. Like, they're doing great. We got berries coming in. We got fish coming in. We definitely need to focus a little bit on the food production. Okay. Now it's time. Time to get this darn bridge done. So we do need to speed up the game just a tad bit. Once this bridge is up, we'll be able to get meat. Now, we did get that other berry gatherer. We have a large demand of boards, which is fine. We do have wood, and we do have several projects going up. So we just need to let them kind of catch up. Now, I'm going to be building quite a bit of stuff in the center of this area. I'm probably actually even going to move like the tax office and potentially even a church into the middle. I know I want to set up a marketplace in the center section here. So let's start kind of gravitating towards that direction. I've been told you can actually just stack these things side by side like that. It's not a bad idea, to be honest. That way you can have kind of like sectors, so you could have 2 like this. As long as they can enter from the sides, you're in good shape. And then that way, it looks... I just don't like the way that the market stall looks here. It does work, but it's like the back side there, right? So I think what you would want to do... That's the problem I have, is I really hate the way that it looks. I just really do. But it works. It works. But yeah, you get like this kind of like secret show. I don't know. I don't like it. All right, if we do this, you can kind of see the goods. And so you got like a kind of like peeper show, and they still have access and ways to get inside. But it looks really weird. Yeah, you can see that these things are blocking the side entries up. So I think if you were to do this, but you see here it increases the attached building part capacity by 20. These are like super necessary. I really hate the little alerts that pop up, to be honest. So I think I'm not going to do that. You can still get them pretty close. I like this. This looks fine to me. So we're going to go with this. Now I'm going to need some money. So I gotta shake my people down. You know, there are 2 types of leaders. leaders who like their peasants, and leaders who like money. I am probably the leader who likes money. So we're going to shake them down. I don't want to do this too much. I do want to start getting into trade. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the pub here soon. First, I need to secure my economy. So let's get that moved. We have an individual going into Shape Stone. I need to bump out the storage on my warehouse. So one of the things I want to do right now is get storage improvements. Now, we probably want to also get clothing. Let's spend all that money before we pay it in taxes. Or we have a little bit of upkeep costs because we just bought that new territory down there. So let's do this. We are in golden shape now. We have 6 individuals. Perfection. Now, let's see. What's the biggest thing people are pissed off about, except outside of the levy mandates and taxes? The lack of refined food. Very good. Once this bridge is up, we're going to go into refined food. Now, I do also want to buy this territory over here for bread, and we're going to build ourselves a really nice area. So let's get this show on the road. Okay. So the tax office, fortunately. Kind of cool, too, is there's this little button here called switch the function of sub-buildings, so you can change them. It's really neat. So, like, I could change this watch post to a tax office if I wanted to. Since these are all sub-buildings of one another, I would have to build an entirely new tax office. So I think I'm actually probably going to build a tax office in this area. Now, the church down here, I want to build this out. So we had a market here. And what's kind of cool, as you can see, is we have all this nice little gap area. So there's a lot of cool little decorations and things that we can do in this area. I'm going to move all of these decorations up here. You can see that the circle housing takes up way less space than square housing, it looks like. That could be a toss-up. I'd have to actually kind of compare them side by side. But the brush tool to get a housing plot requires a lot more room than the actual housing plot, so you can actually kind of like dial those things back. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just going to put a lot of this stuff around the fountain. And we do want to have benches for our individuals to rest when they have rest periods, so we don't look like a like a street in the city with a bunch of people on the side of the roads. So we need to get some benches. We need to get some stuff like that. All right, let's get this show on the road. Radio. Let's get the expansion up. All right. Now, we probably want to start trying to beautify. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to save the game. I've had an issue when I start to beautify areas where even though it says that it won't destroy the house, it's just like, oh, whoops, you destroyed the whole house, right? So we do want to get like a few houses beautified, and I'm going to start with the houses up here. So we're going to place one. We have just enough money for 2 of these guys, but it's kind of good to just get this going now so that when I'm ready, I mean, we're not ready quite yet, but when I am ready, we'll be able to get those houses for commoners, and that'll be a great thing. Okay. All right, so we're going to get the extra expansion up so that I have a spot for selling shaped stone. Well, we have the trade route up, so this will be kind of our early game economy. It's very good. Very, very good. All right, everybody's working. I love it. All right, we're going to make sure the bridge is prioritized. So once that's up, we're going to go into meat. We're going to move, potentially, I am debating moving the forester over here. I'm kind of worried about boars, though. We don't want to destroy all the boars. So I might leave my forester, and I might just cut like the areas around here still, because it's not bad. All right, there we go. We got fish, and we got berries. They're going to get everything up. It's a beautiful day for us. Extra person. All right, and then, yeah, you can right-click on the coin up here to show what taxes are owed. Like I said, taxes in the early stage of the game, especially because right now I'm expanding and upgrading these buildings so they can't generate taxes. But it usually doesn't amount to much because you need the highest tier citizen in order to hit your maximum efficiencies there. Eventually it becomes quite a lot, but early game I have always found the tavern to be the best. But in order for our tavern to work correctly, we're going to need an absurd amount of berries. But let's get into getting another gathering hut. There's a good amount of berries right there, but we have to own the zone that the berries are in. It does look like they're being kind of jerks in that regard. So we do have a berry gent down here, and we do have trees down here. So I'm going to place a berry gatherer like right here in the middle of this forest, right next to all these berries. We need a little bit of money, but it's okay. All right, so now we can assign things like polished stone. We're also going to preemptively put wool, cloth, and clothing. So we have a storage for pretty much every material that we are producing now. So now I can go to my royal book. I can go to my resources, and we're going to start selling polished stone. And I'm going to sell everything above 10 polished stone, and eventually I'll have to pull back on that. And for tools, we're going to buy tools when we're above 10. I'm likely going to do some really awful things to my society. Now, we have a really high unemployment, and that's because I was waiting for this to go up. So now we have our logging camp over in this area. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up hunting grounds. Actually, I'm going to set up hunting grounds in this whole area down here. And we're going to cut this. Perfect. So the woodcutter will kind of jump between these two zones. I don't think I'm going to do woodcutting up here, simply because I just don't want the guy going all over the place. The forester, I'm going to leave. Yeah, perfect. And so we want to make sure that these areas with pigs are heavily forested to the best of our ability to really maximize the amount of boars that are down there. And something I learned from my last gameplay is you really, really want your hunters as hunters as close to the boars as possible. I used to have mine a little bit back, and they were just really bad. So we're gonna let the granary workers do the majority of the heavy lifting, and the butchers do the majority of the heavy lifting. So let's get this down here, right next to the woodcutter. All right, so this is the we need some money stage. So the most effective way to get money at this stage of the game is to be the biggest jerk you possibly can. And once again, taking them down. All right, 135. Negative 5 people might leave, but that's okay. That's why we took the perk that immigration is not impacted by happiness. It's impacted by employment. So we're going to take some hits here and there, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be okay. It's going to be more than okay. There we go. We're doing great. I'm really stoked about everything that we've accomplished here. Looks like we got another thing coming for us right there, but it's not fully built yet. We need more cloth. Okay. Yeah, so it is time. Now, you may hate me for this. But I'm going to tell you that this is a slightly fantasy game, right? I don't know. It is to me. I mean, I don't think people normally flew above their subjects in these times, so I'm going to go with the fact that I have the gift as flight as a free reign to play the game in any way that I see fit. So we're going to do a sheep farm. Now, something you can do in this game, which is quite hilarious, is you can put sheep farms in the water. So you can make Waterworld aquatic style sheep. They're basically just like Kevin Costner. So we're going to make Kevin Costner sheep. All right, cool. Let's get that sheep farm up. All right. We also are going to get a butcher up. I'm going to place the butcher closer to the granary over here. I'm going to place him right across the street, in fact, right there. Pause the game real quick because I don't want my money to go away. Okay, so we got a hunter, we got a butcher, we need a weaver's hut. I'm going to have that right next to everything over here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to push these guys into each other as best as possible to conserve space. And then we're going to do a tailor's workshop also in this area. We need to leave just enough room that people can walk around and build roads. All right, so we need a little bit of money for the tailor's workshop. That's okay, because it's going to take these sheep a little bit of time to become mature enough to even yield anything for us. So let's get the boars going. We got our logging camp going. We got our individuals coming into the city. It doesn't look like we really lost anybody. We just need to keep the status quo going. This is perfect. We might need a bigger church at some point. Eventually, I'm not going to want my people as mad at me, but it's kind of funny how much you can get away with in this game. You can see I'm only losing negative 3% happiness from not having a bigger church. We will make a bigger church. I'm going to put like stone fencing. I'm going to make it look nice. I'm going to do a lot of nice things for these people. Right now, I'm just trying to make sure that they don't all starve to death. So that would be bad. So we're going to not do that. Okay. So everything here is going great. We may even build like a grand tavern. I was thinking about, I like to do beachfront property taverns, but maybe we'll have our tavern a little bit more up here. A lot of this land I really wanted to dedicate to grain production, so we might just have to forego some of that stuff. All right, so it does look like we are making some money from polished stone. That's a great thing. We're going to need a good stall. We're going to need a lot of things. Looks like... yeah, once we get some more cloth, we'll be able to finish that off. All right, so berries and fish, we're doing a good job. All right. So the food situation has remedied itself. So now we just kind of have to wait for everything to catch up. 2 more souls for the grinder. All right, we got 6 unemployed. I'm holding off on doing anything, though, until I get more buildings up. Ooh. All right. That is a good trade. Money and some points. I'll do it. I need money. All right, cool. We got the money. We need a little bit more money. Oh, my gosh. All right, here's the sheep farm. Okay, so this is totally on, like, how the game is supposed to be played. These are special sheep, okay? Waterworld's Kevin Costner came here. I don't know what he did. He did some things. He did some things that we can't talk about. And now my sheep, they can breathe underwater. It's really cool. We should all be thanking him. We should also be slightly worried about how this happened. All right, so we gotta pull back everything that we see there. All right, wood cutting, all that, coolio. This is a huge space saver. I really like it. And I haven't noticed really any issues with production. Okay, there we go. So we were able to kind of just put our sheep all in this little cluster here, and they're breathing. So to make this legitimate, Waterworld hybrid sheep, totally legit now, totally legit. Not cheese at all, man. It's part of the game. It's the way that things were meant to be. It's right. Mutated fish sheep. It's beautiful. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Yes, you can hear them. You can hear them. You can't see them. They're also invisible. So hopefully they don't breed with the fish. The last thing we need. But they're there. You can hear their yelps of happiness or something. Nope, there's one of them. There's one of them. He's beautiful. There he is. He's got red eyes. Yeah, his eyes are freaky as shit. I've done something horrible here. I'm sorry. It's so amazing that it works though. It's pretty funny. I'm sure they'll take it out at some point. Now with wheat and stuff, you can't do that because you have to actually physically go on the land. I think you can do this with cows and everything though. So that's gonna get us a good amount of material that we need. So we just got to keep on keeping on. And let's see. They're building up a few things. Now we want to go up to our visibility because it looks like I accidentally turned off all of my stuff up here. Cool. Let's get our berries going full speed. I want an absurd amount of berries for this design because we're going to be going into making alcohol with berries. Let's help them out. Raise the happiness of villagers to 25%. I don't know if I can do that. I am a bad man. Okay, so let's keep on going. All right, 2 more for the grinder. We got our happiness to 37%. Refined food should be coming in here soon. Looks like we just need more boards. Again, we have so many things going on. Let's actually get the butcher up next, though. And Operation Shakedown must happen one more time. I know 30 serfs might leave if I do this. Yeah, so if you do it too many times, they get real pissed. Now, here's the deal. I think I can get away with it. I think I can. We have 45 serfs. Looks like we'll see. We'll see if they leave. But nobody can leave me. I'm just, I've given them everything they need. They have a freaking aquatic sheep hybrid, like amusement park. Like they could go and look at the sheep. And the 1 serf left. Okay, 1 serf was not cool. Out of 30. That's a pretty good deal. A pretty good deal. All right, let's buy the tailor's workshop. It looks like... Oh, the serf was one over here. Okay, so we'll get that guy back up and rolling. Very, very good. 9% happiness. Yeah, I love it. I got 2 additional workers. Okay, what's going on over here? We're full up on the stone. Okay, let's bust the stone cutter down to 2 people for now. I'm gonna have a lot of openings and jobs here soon. So, I'm pretty happy with what's happened so far. It looks like we might be getting full up on boar. Yeah. I just realized we need to make sure that we have space for the boar and the meat. Cool, we do. We're in good shape. I guess we should probably get the granary full up. There we go. We got 1 person to replace the dude who left. So not a real big deal. Like I said, we don't even actually need these guards. So we can maneuver them. The sawmill was at 1 person. I must have lost them from a previous tax purge. So let's just, okay. Yeah, let's do the best smart thing we can do is just go to the building tabs and just start going down the line. Perfection. Minor at 2 to 3. Transport. Okay, cool. We're full up now. So we're going to have a full immigration rate here, even though everyone's miserable. Again, that's why I go into edicts and privileges. That's why I do fair reputation. Newcomers ignore the happiness immigration factor. Because in the beginning of the game, I am just shaking these people down left and right. All right, so we're full up on logs. We should be in good shape here in a second. Oh, it's beautiful. I know. It's a beautiful bridge. It's a beautiful world we've created for these people. You think they'd be a little bit more grateful. Oh, one surf left. Right. See? I can't get any respect. But it's okay. Like I said, our immigration rate is super, super duper high. And I have more people coming. It's going to be great. But we do need to give them kind of a rest. The refined food should be coming in here pretty soon. So we do need to keep people coming in and actually keep them in the village. But we got all the monies that we needed to do quite a lot of building. That's why I like the shakedown strategy rather than trade and waiting. Like, you can get just an absurd amount of money really easy. So we just bought a bunch of tools. That's great. We needed those tools. And we have the policy that refunds half of tools. Okay, cool. The butcher is here. So now I just need brave souls to work my... I need people for the grinder to work my grinder. Grinders. There we go. And yeah, things are coming up pretty hot now. This is great. None of the houses have deleted themselves. I'm loving it. This is going to be awesome. I'm probably going to put 2 heavy towers on the sides here. It's a little inefficient. Like, if we had heavier walls, we could go all the way with walls. But you know what? It's going to look fine. I just really wanted to get to medium as fast as possible. There we go. 3 souls ready to devote themselves to the splendor that is Perfectville. All right, butcher up to maximum butcher speeds. Granary will need to expand here in a moment. Very good. Very good. One thing I would like to do is start getting more benches down so people have a place to rest. They will gravitate towards benches, which is nice. Otherwise, you'll see them, like I said, just kind of lazily laying about. Yes, go to work. Hammer. Very good. All right, it looks like we're going to start getting some sheep. You can see all the sheep kind of just stay in this area, but we're still getting the impact of having a whole area for sheep. It's beautiful. All right, so we're also going to need to get another stall up, which is going to cost, that's right, money. Okay, so we're probably going to want a food stall for bread and boar. So I'm going to place that here. What's great about this being centralized is that everybody's happy. Okay. Yeah, it looks weird. So I guess if you did it that way, you only block 1. Interesting. I might try that. This is an interesting way to do it. You get 25 capacity, but I will say I do think that the extra 25 capacity for storage is worth separating these. I know that you can technically put these 2 together. And what's kind of interesting is, like, you can see that this is all 1. So let's actually... That's weird. Okay. Oh yeah, that's weird. It's having like a phantom. All right. I'm gonna give these guys the prettier one. But yeah, I like the extra capacity from these. So I'm okay with a little bit of loss of space. No biggie. But you can minimize this by not doing that, but by doing this. All right. They still can come from other directions, so it's fine. All right, but it's gonna cost us a pretty penny. It actually looks terrible. Let's do this a little bit different. We do want this to look as pleasant as possible. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're looking suave. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, so we just need a little bit of money. Now we could wait 30,000 years for us to sell some bricks and stuff like that. Looks like we're full up on logs. So we need to make sure the transporters are at full speed. We have actually 100 wood over here. The plank, so this is where I get, it's just like the plank guys suck. Like, even having perfect access to everything, they are still very, very lazy. All right, we're going to switch things up. Since we don't have fish right now, we're not getting a lot. I'm going to switch this over to meat to get that refined food bonus. We're going to do berries and meat, and we can just kind of like bounce back and forth for a bit. I think that will be fine. That will let us have our cake and eat it too. So berries are full. All right. We're definitely going to need a granary expansion. So what's kind of cool about this is you really can kind of bury these things into each other. You just got to make sure you don't block the entryways. There we go. Get that up. Get more berries. Beautiful. All right, now we got a full... Oh, that's why we didn't have fish. All right, so we did lose a few people from them being kind of angry at me. So I think we're going to have to let them cool down. I've shook them down a little too often. But the Weaver hut is now going to get up. And that's going to help out with a lot of things. Let's go to our handy-dandy little tool. Building tabs. Make sure we have maximum everything. Cool, we're in good shape. All right, we can upgrade people to commoners. Not bad. They may leave, though, because I don't have 2 refined food types. Very good. We just are in a big board crunch era. So someone was telling me you can, if you do these 2 different points, you can see one is showing angles and one is showing rounding. So if I could have just done that, and that would have fixed a lot of this stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can fix that. I just need one monies. You know what? There comes a time in every man's life when he has to do something stupid. Just really dumb because he's impatient and he wants to get things done. We're gonna do it. We can worry about attracting villagers later. I need money. It's like that commercial. It's my money and I want it. I need it now. I want it now. I don't remember if they say need or want. It's both for me though. It is definitely both for me. I need and want the money. I think they say need. Need's a much stronger word. Okay, we got a lot going. We're in good shape. Let's buy some stuff. So we can buy lumber camp improvements, tooling. Tooling requires a lot of people, and it just doesn't usually go well. Let's get a goods market purchased, and let's... Oh, I do want to get fences. Let's also get this purchased. There we go. So that we can do multiple goods. All right, that will be bread and... That'll be bread and fish that we can put over there. We already got meat and berries right here. Perfect. Look at that. We got meat. We got berries. Everybody's having a good time. Oh, man. The sheep are even cheapening. I don't know. Look how quickly we're producing resources. Oh, shit. They've taken over the bridge. I hope they're not making demands. They're on strike. The aquatic sheep. Well, they're not aquaticing. They're not in the waters, so that makes me sad. But that's how that works, and it's a huge space saver, man. I mean, you buy this area, right? You have all this area. It'd be kind of cool if you could do something with it. And you can. You can make them into an amusement park. Okay, let's do some building stuff. We're going to go down the line and just start filling everybody up. All right. We already... Yeah. All right, we're good. We're good right there. Cool. All right. We have everything up over here. So over here, what I want to do is do fish and then bread. I'll need another one for cheese eventually. Yeah, we'll probably have to do a couple more stalls in this area. I like the way this all looks, though. It's going together real nice. So we'll just keep waiting for more people to come. I think food is finally in a good spot. Just the one hunter is bringing in quite a good amount of meat. We lost 1 serf. Totally worth it for the money. We might lose a couple more, but we're going to be okay. And happiness is actually really decent considering the negative 50% from shaking the city down. That's what I mean, though, is like you just don't really get, in my opinion, you don't really get punished that much. Like, it doesn't really punish me. Okay, we're going to do berries for now. Another thing of berries. And we're going to leave it alone. I might need more room later. But I definitely want to make sure that we're stockpiling all the berries we possibly can. Beautiful. All right, we're going to put a resource in here for bread. We will eventually be doing that. Wonderful. Things are great. The fish should start stacking high here pretty soon. Looks like everybody's in motion. We might need another sawmill, to be honest, because they're just not keeping up with production. We got plenty of wood. All right, very well. More people! Yes! Alright, we're gonna put one over here. Dude, I'm just gonna put them both over there, man. Even though we don't have bread to sell, we barely have any fish. We're fine. Alright, so now this is the stage. We have the berries, we have everything there. Now we really need to think about the future. And the future is taverns. Now, taverns are initially gonna be rather pricey, and our territory is not ideal. Now, we have a nice location over here with the manor house and the tax office. I'm debating... Yeah, there's not a whole... Ooh. Well, look at this spot up here. Look at this perfect square spot. Not too far from all the jobs, but kind of far away from where berries are stored. I would like to keep the berries close to where the alcohol production is. So this becomes the challenge. All right, we got the tailor's workshop. That's great. We can start making shirts. We can start getting commoners. Start selling shirts. So yeah, the issue here, outside of, not having enough money, is having having the right amount of space. Now, I was thinking somewhere around here would have been perfect for the tavern. If you look at the region next to us that we could buy, this would be a pretty sweet region. A lot of area for a lot of things. This region over here, though, makes the most sense out of anything because we would have the ability to start getting into wheat production. A lot of production. We have an immense amount of potential for wheat, and our tavern doesn't need to be insane to generate high volumes of money. It's probably going to take up just like a square area. Now, in order for me to do this, I have to commit the sins of just reckless abandon and tax the heck out of these people once more. Let's get these 3 individuals into our town before I do anything silly. Beautiful. All right, we're producing cloth, and we have wool. We have 54 wool. Cloth is coming. They just got to work. You can see that we're waiting. It does better with commoners. We do want to start getting commoners up fast. I'm only going to put 1 person into the tailor. We're going to start like accumulating shirts, but I'm not quite ready to do the push yet. All right, so food is great. Everything is great. The next step is going to be hard. We will be shaking down everybody. Only 6 serfs are going to get pissed about this. Let's get that money. All right, now let's spend that money. We're going to build a very, very basic tavern. Now, I might have to do several shakedowns because what we need to do is buy this region. But this tavern is going to save us. This tavern is going to produce the majority of my revenue. All right. So what we want is the ability. Let's go up to here because we can show. Let's show the regions, territory boundaries. All right, cool. Perfect. All right, territory boundaries. Thank you. Got to turn those on because it's kind of annoying. All right. So yeah, we're going to build something that can expand in 3 directions. So we're going to build it down the center so we can expand on each side. That way we don't have to have these tall skyscraper-like looking things. And we'll probably put like benches and walls around it and all types of cool stuff. All right. So this is going to be the public lounge. All right. And it doesn't look like this is going to cost money outside of tools, which tools are money to that extent. And we're going to put a big old door on the front here, and that's going to be great. So let's build that. All right, and then we're going to use the create sub-building tool, and we're going to place a service counter. Same thing, perfection, build all. Create sub-building, you don't have to create build all. We haven't unlocked the tavern yet, but we will. All right, and actually, yeah, we can probably put that in a different spot. All right, here we go. So we just need to make sure this thing has a chimney. I'm going to make my chimney... Oof, I don't want to make my chimney tall at all. It's expensive chimney. Make that the shortest chimney ever. Per capacity. Yeah, it doesn't really help with anything. It's just more expensive. It does give us splendor if we make it tall, but it's not worth it to me. Oh, damn, you can build it for free. Pretty much for free if you don't make it tall. All right, that's the basic right there. So what we need now is the inn lodge, and I need 75 splendor for that. So we're going to build that up, let them get to work. We're going to do 1 more shakedown. We're going to pump out some splendor, and all will be well for us again. All right, that's a pretty good trade right there. Since we have it, we're going to do it. Money is money. We need money for tools. All right, we got 2 individuals. Let's go to our buildings. Definitely want 3 out of 3 builders. Definitely want 2 out of 2 tax collectors. I mean, like, the taxes don't really amount to much, but every little bit helps at this stage. We're getting 20 a month. We're not even getting 20 because none of our houses are up. So, yeah, we have a lot of building projects going on. A lot of boards are going to be needed on both sides. Let's get up another sawmill. Get both these guys. We need to get another sawmill up. We're going to get it up on the other side of this. This is going to help a lot. We definitely need to do this. There we go. I'm going to prioritize this building. We get this saw pit going, we can get these houses up, and that's going to help us with tax revenue. Right now, we're in a pretty big negative because of territory upkeep. Well, territory upkeep's not bad. Actually, building upkeep is what's really hurting us, but it's all going to be fine. We're just going to keep shaking people down, expanding as fast as possible. All right, we got 1 free person for the new sawmill. We got some more people coming. Perfect. The sawmill is going to help out a lot. Beautiful. All right, so if I paid this guy 200 gold in the future, he'll give me 13 tools now. I'm going to do it. This is actually a great quest because it's like almost infinite. I'll have a lot of money at some point. I can pay him back. I need those 13 tools pretty bad. It looks like we're doing pretty good, keeping the hunters and all the meat coming in. Interestingly enough, we really need to upgrade these guys. We don't have shirt production quite ready for commoners. We need to make sure if we do this that we can keep them. 6 shirts. The Weaver's Hut kind of suck. You typically need a couple of them. You can see that they're pretty non-productive because they're not commoners, so we need to get them commoners fast. All right, I'm gonna get the sawmill going at max speed now. There we go. Let's get that. Got 2 full sawmills. Oh, looks like we need one more over here. And the shape stone is like kind of keeping us in a positive cash flow, so it's helping out. There we go. Couple more. Now remember, we can go up to 108 with the current design, so that's quite a bit. We're at 50 pop, so we can go twice the pop that we have right now. Let's make sure everything's running at full speed. All right, granary needs more people in it. Warehouse definitely needs more people in it. Okay, we're gonna assign a berry brew location in the granary because we're gonna be creating alcohol here in a second. We're getting close. I just have a little bit more happiness to get up. They're finally starting to forgive me. I'm gonna have to shake them down again though. But we're doing great. The populations are building up. Our infrastructure is fantastic. I need to start getting a common goods stall up in this area. So we're going to get 2 good stalls up. Now what's cool is we have all these gaps in between houses. So I can do beautifications. I can do benches. And we have a lot of space. So I'm going to do 2 over here in this gap. We're just going to have the market stalls kind of throughout the whole area. Now, I do think it's advantageous to just do both of them in a group, kind of like so. Perfection. This should do great. We just need a little bit of coin for it. All right, we're now a town. we're now a broke town. The sheep are they're getting bigger. That's good. Just make sure everybody's working. I got some more people coming in, thank God. All right, we have a little bit of extra stuff that we can use here. Let's get village architecture, bailiff, and treasury. Let's just get it all unlocked. So we're going to need 75 splendor. We're going to need a couple rounds of shaking the town down to get the tavern up. But once the tavern is up, all bets are off. We are going to be rich. All right, we got 20 shirts to unlock the next trade route. Now, what's great about this trade route is we can actually start selling alcohol, and we can start selling shirts, and we can start selling fish. I don't have enough shirts or fish to sell, but alcohol, we can actually technically start producing in an effort to get that out there. We also have enough to unlock this trade route, which can sell polished stone for 3. And same with this gent. So we have 2 individuals who can buy polished stone from us. That's really, really good. Big old influx of people. So let's get this train started. We're going to get alcohol production going. Now, they do need a well. Now, there is a well over here they can go to, but I'm going to be nice. And I'm going to place a well right here for water access. Cool. Now, let's go to our handy-dandy little royal book and see if there's anything else. We should probably buy 20 bread at some point to unlock this trade route. But I'm going to say that we sell any alcohol that we have, berry brew, over 20 for now. That will help with some of our income. I'm going to assign more berry space since we're kind of like running out. But that's good. We're going to want a lot of berries. It's better to see your berries deplete. Like, I like to have a point. Like, if I'm ever go below 300 berries, that means I need to take a peek, see what's going on. It's always best to have a really high volume of something that's really important so that you can kind of adjust. It gives you an indicator to adjust in real time. You don't want to be like, oh, I have 0 berries and my entire economy collapse. Like, so I like to have high threshold values for that reason. Perfect. Now we can see the boars are really holding up well with just the 1 hunter. You want to be kind of careful because 2 hunters, I usually end up just killing all the boar. Now they do spawn on their own just based off thick density. But essentially, you'll get to a point where your meat's kind of erratic. And as you can see, I have 54 boar. I really need to get shirts into the village market here. So it's time for me to shake down the city. There we go. So we can build this. I want to start getting shirts into everybody's hands. Get that built. We have 4 unemployed. Let's go to our build tab. And let's go down the line and make sure everybody has someone they need. Tailored to 3 now. Miners the 3. All right, we're in good shape. Very good shape. We want to get bread. We want to start getting other productions, but we need a lot of people for that. We still have room for quite a lot. Now they're getting kind of weird because they're the patrols aren't too grand. We lost a patroller. Let's pop a patroller in there. I didn't notice that. Now it says we don't have enough guardsmen, but we don't technically even need guardsmen. Ooh, yeah, look at that. We got hurt. I'm gonna pop the watchman out, and I'm gonna put this in here. Perfect. The light fortification is just an action of the wall itself. We don't actually even really need guards. Increase taxation. Yeah, we're not even close to that part yet. We're going to be okay. We got 66 right now, so I need to spend this wisely. we need to get to 75 splendor. Now, one of the best ways to do that, like I said, is probably going to be either beautifying this and the Great Hall gets 1.5 additional, 50% additional splendor basically. So we can do rose, we can do estate decorations, we got common decorations now. So we can spam these bushes down. So you can see every one of these I do, I'm getting 2 instead of 1. Every third, it looks like. Yeah, we're getting 1.5. So we have quite a bit of money. This is going to get tricky because it's like, do I ever want to expand my manor? Probably, yeah. But we can do benches and stuff like that too. They're about equal. It's always good to have a few other things, but yeah, bushes definitely for the win. I got 66. So we're going to spend as much as I possibly can. There we go. That pops us up to 42. So we'll just keep pushing to 75 and we'll be in good shape. Once this patrolman starts getting out and getting in his areas, we'll be in good shape. I don't like the fact that they're all walking together. Very weird. Yeah, I could see why having multiple watch posts makes sense. Having really, really small multiple watch posts. Okay. Let's see what that would look like here. So maybe you take the smallest building possible. You could do a minor manor tower. I think. It looks kind of good on the gate too. And you can attach it to the gate. Yeah, because we only really realistically need one individual for this. This would be probably one of the easier ones to get up. That's kind of cool. I also get the light fortification, and we just put a door on it. That's neat. So yeah, we can just do we can do our guys like this. So put one here, and then put one on the opposite side. And then we don't need this watch post in the middle at all. Very cool. That is a much different way of doing it than I would have thought of. So a special shout out to Perfect Death for telling me about that. That is something Perfect Death told me about, that they have alternating buildings. And so I never really thought about that, but it looks kind of cool because you have these like little towers too. And this is perfect. We just put a door on it and look at that. We got outside patrols. This is great. Okay. So we're going to get those, like, we only need one patroller in each, you know what I mean? And we could have these towers on all of the gate sides, and that way they're coming from different points. Because having them come from the same thing, this does not seem to be helping. They're just like, they're all hanging out together. Like it's supposed to, like some kind of fun event. All right. Clothing in the stall here. Yeah, we could put a watchman in there too. This is great. So yeah, we can, honestly, I could take this whole watch post down and probably put the a treasury in the center here and a church. Though I think I'm just going to have a big church down here. But this is probably a much better way of doing it with the... I like, too, that it's only one patrol person. That's great. It's really efficient. I don't need a big slot for 10 of them. All right, cool. We got more people. I'm also wondering if they're... I don't know if they're following pathing or they're just literally just going for where patrols are needed. I'm just going to put a big old thing to the center and kind of watch them. Yeah, they seem to just go house to house. Yeah, they're following the roads more so than they're following anything else. So... we can do some fun stuff. We'll do that. See if that helps in any way. But I don't like the fact that they're moving in a group like that, dude. That's crazy. All right. Yeah, we're going to prioritize these guys. They're real cheap. They're just a couple tools. So prioritization. Get these little watch post towers up. That's very neat. That's good to know. It allows you to do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, we could put some kind of tower in the middle. We could put our medium density towers over here too if we wanted to. All right, alcohol production is engaged, so that will be a good trade item for us. Perfect. We're going to put a patroller in here. All right, we're in good shape. So you can see this guy is walking just by himself. I love it. Hitting all the points. There we go. I think what they do is they prioritize the weakest ones first, and they kind of they're following like a really weird road system though. Yeah, for something like this, I might need multiple towers, as you can see. But yeah, if they come from one location, they just travel in a big group together, which really seems counterintuitive because they're only getting one click. They're not even getting the full benefit of all three. So that's interesting. Sometimes you do have to like watch how things work because you're like, oh, it should work like this, and it's like, oh, this was like, what's the fucking point of being able to have? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? All right. I'm actually liking this design more and more because it has a lot of flexibility. But I do think that we actually are going to need a third tower and potentially a fourth tower. But this is great. This is good to know. We can probably do it with 2, to be honest, starting from different points. But if it becomes a problem, we'll just have an extra tower. All right, patroller on. So this thing, it's just going bye-bye. It's just going to go bye-bye. And we'll get tools back. We'll get resources back. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So now we have a patroller here, and we have a patroller here. I don't know why I went outside, but they should both start moving around here shortly. All right, this is great. This is much better. You're also getting light fortification bonuses. It doesn't matter, though, from the tower, but it is kind of cool. All right, I like this. You can see them kind of jumbling around. Why is there a third one? That's weird. I never hired a third guy. All right, I'll take it. The Phantom Patroller. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I like it. This is great. We're in good shape now. This is really nice. Yeah, the towers are the way to go. All right, let's go to the book. Make sure we have our builders. All right, we have everybody that we need in jobs, so that's great. We can start looking at expansion now. I think it's time. We're going to do shirts and probably like something like common wares or candles here. For now, we're just going to do shirts. Yeah, these 2 towers are doing a great job. Nice. Got 7 from selling some alcohol. This isn't great, though. Like, we really need to get into taverns, so it's time to get the Splendor up. Let's shake them down. Yeah. All right. Now we just need to buy some more Splendor. And you can see that they're really liking these benches. I'm probably going to get some more. I'm just going to align this area with them. There we go. 2 more benches. Perfect. All right. And then the rest of this is just going to be a Splendor spam. So we need 75. So I need 32. There we go. That's good enough right there. All right. So now we have unlocked the inn. Pause. Now it's time to get the inn going. All right. It's time to make some freaking money. So we're going to be getting up our inn and our tavern and making the berry brew. Only the finest toilet wine for this society. It's berry brew. I would consider that like kind of wine, but it's just like the concept of it being a quote-unquote berry brew. I don't know. It seems kind of janky. But we're going to make a lot of money with it. We're going to invite weird strangers from out the realm to come here and vacation. Because we have so many things to do here. Like stare at the berry bush. And stare at the meat box. We have a meat box, which you can look into. These 2 individuals appear to be locked in a lover's quarrel. He won't even look her in the eyes. She's not even looking at the meat box. I don't know what's going on here. I just know that I don't like it, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. So we're not going to look at these people anymore. They all kind of make me feel uncomfortable. I mean, I'm not the crazy one here. it's them. They're the crazy ones. Okay, let's get this show on the road. So, we got to get some more money. We need money. And taxes are a little tricky to get in the beginning of the game. You can see that I'm not really pulling in a whole lot of money from these individuals over here. So, if you watch my previous videos, you know that, as I said, there are 2 types of leaders. Those who like their peasants and those who like money. Me being the money guy. Money good. I like money. All right. So, we got 5 days until I can shake him down. I've already shook him down a couple of times. So, yeah, we'll have to taper ourselves. All right. Let's see if we can just afford the tavern right now. Or the inn, I should say. Sorry. So, we just got it unlocked in the last episode. Now, I could put it at the very end, which isn't a bad idea. What I'm kind of thinking I'm going for here is like an inner core of this moneymaker. It's like a unit, right? So I can raise it, I can extend it to the sides. Eventually, I want to get like fencing around it and make it look pretty. But for the time being, we just actually really want capacity on this thing. So I think what we're going to do is do a 2-tile long gent right here. This is going to be the end of the tavern, but it's going to be like a tavern complex. It's going to be a massive moneymaker. And then all around us, we're going to have a bunch of other money-making opportunities. So this is going to be expensive. You can see the tool cost alone is eek, right? So some of these things we can do for a little bit less, but the increase in capacity just isn't there. Now, if I increase this, the tools go up just a slight bit. So it seems like 1 tool for 5. Yeah, 1 tool per 5. That's pretty good. All right. I'm gonna redo some of my ideas here. I think I'm gonna put it right here. Build all. So we do have walls, or should have walls. If we come over to the gent here and purchase village fencing, village stone is a little bit more expensive. And I don't know that I necessarily like these people that much to give them the prettier fences, but maybe one day I'll be better. So I could get a stone fence for, it's not bad. It's like 158 stone. It's pretty cool. Let's give a good area. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I do want to put some farming over here. So I'm going to give them a little bit of room like so. So we're just going to get some of the stone fencing up. I think that these 3 tiles here are perfect. I don't think we actually need to have it. And as people pointed out in the last one, so this is rounded option for fencing. This is strict option for fencing. That's the one I like. And we want to leave a little bit of room around this thing. Okay. So we'll play around with this later. I just want to get the basic thing going here. This isn't really that expensive, as you can see. It's only like 22 stone. That's really cool. It's pretty. It makes me feel elegant. I don't know. It doesn't make me feel anything, actually. All right. Let's just go away from that. Let's get that built up. Once we get the berry brew, things are going to get popping. So we need to make sure that this berry brewer over here is legit. So let's actually come to the berry brew. And let's expand the berry brewer into another building. I'm trying to avoid going tall until like I absolutely have to. I think tall looks a little silly. It makes it look like New York in medieval times, so it's just not my style. But these thatched dormers here, oof, those are nice. But they're tools. But man, that is a lot of splendor. All right, so we're gonna do this. That will give us 4 booze makers, which is a good amount, I guess. All right, cool. So let's prioritize this. Very good. I'm feeling fantastic. All right. Let's also get some individuals into the taverner. The attendance is here. Now, this is something I forget to do every time, except for this time and the last time. Make sure you put your alcohol into the tavern. Yeah, like, it's kind of a difference. Like, you have to select everything in this game. But it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Now, we remove the thing over here. So, like, I'm thinking about moving the church inside of this. This is a beautiful spot. And or moving the tax office. Or I even thought about moving the whole manor over there, but the tax office in the center location to me makes a whole lot of sense, but it's fine where it is. There's a lot we could do here. There's a lot. All right. So we want a pretty place over here. We have our granary right here. We have the extension inside of it. If anything, like the church to me seems like the one thing that could be moved. Now what's cool about these gaps in between our housing is we can actually put the markets over there if we wanted to. So there's a lot to do. For instance, I'm going to move this down a little bit, and this over here, we're not doing that. At one point, I was thinking about moving some stuff, but I have decided against that. Oh, that's where the ghost guy was coming from. That's right. That's what's going on. Okay. No, we don't want to do that. Let's go into build mode. All right. This guy over here. Oh, this is a tax office. That's so weird. All right. We just need to cancel the change. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're not going to move the tax office because it can't be that far away from the Great Hall. Now, what I would like to do is put something of importance here in the center. I mean, we could just wait and put the belfry here in the city market and all that. The city market's neat, but it's not entirely even necessary. Look at that, we got shirts, so we can upgrade to commoners now. So I got a couple. Let's change direction here. Let's get some beautifications up in the top areas. So these will be the houses that we can upgrade. And we got some pretty little bushes here. Look at the pretty bushes. All right, so that's enough for the commoners. And what I want to do is start upgrading some of the guys that make sense. Now, what do I need to do upgrades? That's right, I need money. Well, right now we don't have the tavern up. When we do, it's going to generate significant portions of revenue for us. There's only one thing I can do. There's only one thing I have to do here. I have to shake them down. Not for me, but for them. I must take from them for me to help them help me. In the grand scheme of things, I get money, and that's the most important thing. Okay, we got a big old chunk of change. So now what we need to do is There's actually a couple things. I do want to get the labor 3 privilege here. I want to buy this edict. I love edicts. So we can see in our breakdown, our upkeep is 23 right now. Those things are they're gonna keep piling in on us, you know? Let's go to our edicts. We got a few. So upkeep production building parts are decreased by 50%. Upkeep of production building parts decreased by 50%. Not bad. This one I don't like because it decreases the yields of a lot of things that are good for us. Bulk trade quantity bonus of 80%, but lowers how much money we get from them. Don't like that one. The decreased mandate cost. This is actually really, really nice. This is a really good one. And decrease the time of every mandate by 50%. Let's do it. That's going to be good for us because once I get a bailiff too, there's some other stuff we can do. Even though I think that's actually a picture of the bailiff, but we don't need that for what it's talking about. So we can go into our mandates now, and we can see that it's going to cost us less than before. Beautiful. All right, we're not seeing the trade routes coming up. That's because we haven't traded enough. Cool. So once we trade up to 20 of goods with these individuals, we're getting close in some areas. Then it will cost half as much as it used to upgrade those trade routes, and that will be a beautiful thing for us. Okay, get these individuals into our area. Perfect. All right. And yeah, the patrollers using these 2 towers, look how nice that is. And only 1 worker, no watchmen. This is much cleaner. I wish I would have had that in my first EP. Now, I don't have any... Oh, I do have someone over there. Okay, so I have 3 patrollers. You could probably get away with 2, though. I'm just going to leave it with 3 just because I don't want to chance it. Let's take a peek at what we should spend our money on. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have a little bit of coin now that we can start upgrading people to commoners. So let's get these hunters and let's upgrade them into commoners. Or they want to be serfs. My bad. Shit. Okay, well, you're fired. Man, making mistakes already. Yeah. We wanted to go to the butchery. Okay, so the butchery, we're going to upgrade, and we're going to upgrade both of these. I have a commoner that's just out there. And then in the tax office, we're going to upgrade these gents, both. And it looks like we're going to need a bigger tax office at some point. I am kind of thinking the tax office would make a heck of a lot of sense in the center. And it also kind of just feels right. You know, it feels like what a good lord would do. Just, you know, just make sure that he's watching him while they sleep. Just like waiting for that money to pop up, diligently working for my interest. All right, now the tailors, they need to be upgraded too. So let's talk about the common folk. What are their dreams? What are their aspirations? Well, they want entertainment and they want goods. They want a shirt and they want a drink. You know, that's all you could really ask for. I'm actually like happy that they want to wear clothes and drink. It could be like the total opposite. They could just want to get freaky wild. So they're very proper drunks, and you got to respect that about them. They also want to have Jesus to forgive them for their night out of debauchery, and they want 2 refined foods. Now, I can fulfill one of those. I can fulfill one of the refined foods. I can fulfill the Jesus, and I can fulfill the debauchery and the shirts. So we're in good shape. We're in really, really good shape to maintain commoners at a happy and productive level of citizenness in our society. All right, we got it going on. Everything is really hunky-dory. We're going to get these bad boy houses up now that we have the beautification and a commoner resident. It's going to take tools. It's going to take stone. And it's going to take boards. So many boards. You have 1 commoner left. So there is an issue. And that issue is the Jesus. So there's a part of me like tax. Oh, a serf left too. Well, that's from the shakedown. But we're going to get more people. I'm not too worried. And we're starting to get money positive. Well, we do really need to get a better church. We need to maintain a 100% Jesus level in this village. They're a sinful group of people. You know, they need to go and be forgiven of their sins. Why do you think their eyes are so wide open? They're doing shit. These people are freaks. They're getting wild. You know, you think this guy cares about his credit score? Think the dude with the PCP eyes and an axe? You think he's going into town to talk about getting a mortgage? No, he's running from something, and we got to help him. All right, so we got to get this church up. We got to get this church up so that man can sleep. And also so he doesn't kill everyone in this town. He's definitely terrifying. All right, but I want my church to look just beautiful. I want it to invoke a sense of that's pretty nice. Like right now it invokes a sense of, is that a church there? Like I thought that was a barn or like a shed where people put like their boats or their rafts. Yeah, it's like a raft shed. It doesn't look like a church. It doesn't invoke. It does not invoke. I don't know what it does. It sucks. We need a cool church, and we need to do the most churchy thing, which is shake down everybody in the village to build a mega church. And once we get the inn up, we'll have, you know, the money from the old weird people coming into town to get drunk and stare at our people. And coupled with that, we will be able to build the most magnificent, alluring, cheapest, coolest church. It's got to be cheap. I'm pretty cheap. Yeah, we don't want to spend too much on it. But what we need is an area for it. All right, I think I found our area. So all the houses are here, and that's great. And we have, I think this is cool because we have the stone fence right here, right? So I think we can do the stone fencing right in this area too. Have a gate that goes to all the farmland. Have farms around the church, brewery, so you can get drunk, and then you can go right to church. This is a beautiful thing. I feel the divine touch. I feel the divine touch telling me that I have figured it out. All right, where's my tower? Where's my tower? Okay, we're gonna have a big old bell tower right here. Now this church is gonna be able to fit 60 individuals, which we have 60 individuals. We want to make this church a little bigger. So I'm gonna bust out the back just a tad bit more. I would like this church to fit 108 individuals. So let's just keep busting this out a little bit more at a time. And we definitely want to get a second bell tower on it. That might be like a little bit taller than the other one. That looks a little weird. All right, cool. Now we need to get some decor. This church is depressing. It needs a giant cross for sure. You have to have a giant cross. I mean, it's just church 101. And some stones. Yeah, some gravestones. Nothing screams church like buried remains. So that's cool. And this is polished stone. Okay, cool. So we can fill in some of this stuff at a later date. That will give us some points that we need too, because we're going to go down all the rows here. Now, we do want to get some benches so that my people can stare at other individuals while they pass by. It's a time-honored tradition of my town to just vacantly stare at people. I see you. All right, perfect. We're gonna need some money for this church, though. We really are. Okay, so here is the fence. Oh, that's kind of cool. I can build the fence as an iteration of the church itself, but I don't want to do that. So we're gonna have our stone fence like so. I love it. This is great. So the roads will go through here to get to the other lands. And then we're gonna have the fence as a continuation going this way. It's beautiful. It's everything I imagined it would be. And more. I can die happy now. I changed my mind. Oh, lordy, no. So Control Z, just like anything, is back in this game, which is actually really cool. So if you make something that looks really dumb, you can get rid of it, which is really awesome. I also kind of like the hedges. So in this one, you can see because I had selected the option to do it that way, I might actually have to. Here we go. There we go. Now we're cool. Now we're hip. All right, here we are. Making stone fencing. Beautiful day for us. This is looking great. The monumentous occasion for all. And now we can have up to 10 creepy old people come into our town and give us money to drink our berry brew. It's a magical time. It's a magical time. I really do like these decorations, though. They're all really cool. The hanging lantern post thing, this is so cool. I want to have lanterns on each side of the fence post here. For sure. Look how cool they look. Illuminate. Illuminate. Wonderful. All right. So, let's get these individuals into the town so I can include them in my shakedown. It's not out of any goodness of my heart. I just want their money. Yes, please spread the word. Please, anybody. I'll take anybody. We can dance. I'll get them to dance for you. Just give me money. Please give me money. All right, select mandate. Let's levy these people. 8 gain from commoners, 180 gain from serfs. I may lose 1 commoner in 26 serfs, but you know what I'll gain? A freaking lamppost, man. Priorities. All right, lamppost achieved. There we go. All right, cool. So we're going to get up our mega church. It's going to look beautiful. It's not going to look... Ooh, I left one of the bell towers over there. That was silly of me. All right, let's get the bell tower in front. Beautiful. Now we got 3 bell towers. You're going to hear 3 bell towers. You're going to hear that. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's make sure that we are in full gear. We want the booze to flow. We need the old creepy men to come to my village and pay money. And we're going to be in great shape. We're in really good shape, actually. This is perfect. Perfect. All right, so we got a lot of berries. The brew should be good. The meat should be good. So... yeah, we lost the commoners. We didn't have the people to entertain them. So let's let all the things kind of start like congealing and forming before I do the commoner upgrade again. That just didn't seem to be a good idea, actually. Now that I have the booze and the entertainment value, and I need to get my church up to full speed, like a couple things. We're gonna need a couple of individuals. So we're at 61 pop. We have a high immigration rate. Again, that's why I have the policy to negate happiness for immigration, because I'm always shaking my people down. Now, they want refined food, and this is kind of pissing me off because... Oh, the meat! The meat box is gone! That's because I don't have a butcher. Oh, man. Everything's coming full circle. Coming full circle now. We'll get it all going. Don't worry about it. I would never deprive a man or woman of a box of meat. I may be a greedy, callous, soulless, but... I would never deprive anyone of a meat box. There are standards that allow me to live with myself. All right, bump that up. So let's just get two folk in there. Let's see what else we can actually buy while we're over here. Wheat farm improvements would be fantastic. Village stone bridge, city fences, elegant fence. Ooh, I don't know. I like the concept of being able to tell people that my fences are elegant. Excuse me, sir. Have you seen this elegant fence? Okay, I'm gonna pass that up for now. Wheat farm improvements for sure. Wheat farm is gonna be the next thing that we actually get into. That's why I'm kind of spacing all this out. So we'll be in good shape here momentarily. I'm gonna, however, let them all kind of focus on doing what they're doing over here. So let's go to the big old book. And the book over here of workers, let's go to the building tab. All right, cool. So we got foragers. We definitely want to have 3 out of 3 builders. That's scary that we did not. We definitely want to have 2 out of 2 hunters. Woodcutter is okay. Carpenter, we have multiple carpenters going. Tax collector, definitely want that up at 2. All right, so we need a big swath of people, and I think we can finally stop shaking people down. Possible. I'm being honest though. Once I get these 10 old people in here to pay me money to drink, we're gonna be rich. I mean, they're not all old. I just imagine that they must be, because I don't think any young whippersnapper gonna be prowsing around Perfectville looking for a good time. Let's see. Here's our first group of weirdos. Oh yeah, these guys are freaks. These guys are freaks. You know they're up to no good. Okay, and they're not old. They're not old at all. This makes it just... What do they want? What do they want to do here? I am visiting the village. I need water, rustic food, and a place to sleep. Replenished as they journey across the realm. So they're on a journey across the realm. They could be on a pilgrimage. They could be spies. They could all be spies. And then there's this one dude. This one dude over here. He doesn't... Oh, there's multiple dudes. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, so here we go. We got a royal visiting combatant. Nice. We got some combatants. I think they actually like to get drunk more. That's actually something that's kind of interesting, because I don't know if there is like a difference between the revenue types, or how much revenue visitors generate based on who they are. You know, like these Amish looking pieces of junk versus like all Amish people are cool. I'm not saying Amish. I'm just saying, like, they better drink. All right. And it looks like we can actually really start attracting people. So I may need to get more. Yes. Let's get another spot. Let's crank this up. Let's get it crazy in here. All right. 2, 3. 1. Oh, that was too much. All right, so we're gonna bump all these guys up by 3. Oh, no, we're gonna bump them up 1 more. Look at that. Okay, so that will increase it to a lot. By 12. There we go. It's a lot of tools. We have it. I say we do it. I say we try to make, like, because once we get that money coming in from the tavern, see, the tavern money's already coming in. I want it to be like 100. We're gonna be getting 100 a month from the tavern. Perfect. All right. So, Operation Don't Shake the Peasants is commencing. This is gonna be a trying time for me. I'm really struggling with my identity and who I am as a person. I'm gonna do my best. But let's for the sake of getting all of our stuff finally optimal, let's make sure that things are good here. Perfect. Prove your trade with middle. Yeah, we'll do that for sure. All right. We just need to get 50 polished stone. We can do that. We don't sell all of it. I'm not too worried about the trade aspect for now. I am just a big proponent of getting people liquored up on their way here. You make so much freaking money. Eventually, we are actually going to make money from taxes, okay? Right now, we're at 5. The tavern's 3x our taxes, and it's not even started. That's just a couple of people drinking a sarsaparilla. Like, we haven't gotten this place to the party mansion that it's going to be. We're going to be getting epic amount of sloshiness going on over here. This is looking awesome. I can't wait to get the freaking farms out here. I guess we could start on that now, actually. All right. So in this iteration, I feel really kind of stupid for not building my wheat farms correctly. Like, you really do, since they're walking out in all directions, right? You really do just want to have your wheat areas all around this in the middle. Like, you really want to centralize it. All right, we're going to have that and another dude over there. And I think we want to get this right off the bat. Like, we just want to get it all going. This is going to get us to worker capacity. Yes. All right, and we can squeeze. You can meld these into the thing as much as you want. The key thing is that you can sleep at night with your decisions. That's all that really matters. Perfect. Because you see, I can technically just put this on top. I want it to look kind of cool. Oh yeah, perfect. Just need a little bit of cash. All right. Oh, do I wait for cash? I think we're going to be pulling in the cash that we need. Look at this. Look at that. 15 villagers fully staffed. It's a beautiful day, and we're going to have more. It's going to be perfect. So, yeah, let's just keep busting up what builders we have. Make sure we have enough builders there. Foragers, we definitely need all of our foragers. Woodcutters. All right. The village priests, we have 0. Yeah, there's no Jesus in this town right now, so people are going to lose their marbles. Oh, he's coming. The Chapel of Christ is coming. I'm sorry for what I did to you. I'm sorry what I did to you, sheep. I didn't mean to make you aquatic. I just wanted to save some land. The things I'm willing to do to my town to make a few dollars, man. Ooh, what's going on over here? I think we lost the commoner in here. Yeah, but look how small the housing plots are in these circles. It's really cool. There's a lot. We could put benches. I mean, we're gonna make this look immaculate. It's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have statues of me just everywhere that I can fit one. You know, tastefully though, tastefully. Only like 15. All right, let's pop these foragers up. Yeah, shepherd. We need all of the shepherds. Transporters up. Yes, yes, sir. All right, 25 bread to improve the next area. Nice. Look at that. We made enough money. I turned a profit. 47 on the tavern. We made enough money to build a farm without shaking down the entire town. It's beautiful. All right, windmill time. So where's the windmill gonna go? Well, you know what? Like, I kind of want to have a granary for everything over here too. It really helps when you have everything that you need. All right, so I'm gonna place the granary right here outside the gate. I like this spot, facing this way, because we're gonna want to do a granary extension. And he's just gonna be gathering wheat. I want to make sure I save all that room for some of the wheat stuff. So we need a windmill. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put the windmill right here. I think this is kind of a cool spot for the time being. I mean, let's pause the game real quick. I'm trying to think. It's nice to have some of this stuff intermingled, you know. And technically speaking, we can intermingle. All right. Let's do it right here. Beautiful. All right. And then the bakery. Well, the bakery can go go in this area too. So I want to keep it a little bit away from the Jesus. This area is going to have a lot of stuff around it. Let's put the bakery. Let's see, we got a gate right here. Yeah, we have a gate right here. And we're going to have fencing over here. You know, we can incorporate all this. Sometimes compact city designs actually do look pretty nice. So let's turn him like so. All right, cool. The builders can still move around. Everybody can still move around. We'll put it there. And we'll have a nice little thing. All right, transporter. Carpenter it is. All right, yeah, we got the boards on lockdown now. That's great. We're gonna need 24 tools for that wheat farm, though. Yikes. We're gonna need a bunch of cash in our pocket to make sure we can buy tools when the merchants come. And that's all right. We can do that. I could wait a little bit. It's not like I want to buy some cool stuff. Ooh, big Bernie things. All right, big Bernie things. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. We need that. We need them. They're cool. They make light. Really cool. Look how much more awesome this guy looks now. Holy crap, what's going on over there? Okay, more Bernie things. That was interesting. Thought my graphics card was melting. All right, we're in positive economic territory now with an 80 in the tavern. So look how easy it is to make money once you get the tavern going, man. We just need a couple more people. They're still a little bummed out that they don't have the Jesus. So we need to get the Jesus up fast. It doesn't take us much. We actually are really, really close. All right, let's keep getting people back to work. We're getting close. All right, look at that. Once we get that back part, we'll be at full capacity. All right, yeah, we get 2 of them. We'll be at 120. Nice. All right, now people can get their church on. It's great. We got the bench. We got people sitting inside of one another. It's a beautiful day here. All right, we're gonna do another spot for Berry Brew over here. I definitely want to have a massive, massive storage of liquor. We're trading it too. So that's a big thing. We have a lot of storage within the Berry Brewery itself, up to 100. We'll eventually want to increase the size of the tavern. Not necessarily for more workers, though we will need those, but also for just a native storage for them. It's really beneficial. Glorious. All right. There's only a few patrol sheep now. I've met their demands, and they've allowed me to cross my own bridge. Dude, look how many freaking boar and meat we're getting with just one. So I gotta hand it to myself. Keeping your hunter right next to the boars is amazing. It's like so much meat. All right, what are we doing wrong though? The butchers are not the right. Yeah, we're gonna upgrade them. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that will give us 100% production, and I think we can meet that. I think we can meet their needs now, because we have a village market. Ooh, that does not have 2 people in it. Okay. I'm going to pull the dude out of here and throw him over here. There we go. All right, common clothes and nothing else for the time being. All right, so we have they should have access to clothing. Perfect. Nice. We have a good storage of booze. Let's get some more people up. All right. Village priest, 2 out of 2. We've done it. Maximum Jesus. We've achieved greatness. And, oh, they don't even have names on their tombstones? This is awful. All right. All right, there we go. Bring in the tools. Perfect. We'll get that farm up here in no time. Beautiful. Now, I don't have a granary that has wheat storage or flour or any of that crap, so I am going to need that granary up ASAP. Yeah, we're going to need that bad. And it looks like my lumber camp is doing an okay job, but the trees are getting out of control. I can't see anything anymore. All right, we're there, man. We are there. So let's go to the mana and promote the villagers. So anyone that has the rapture signal or the level up signal is someone who's going to benefit from you upgrading them. Now the brewers, I definitely want to upgrade. I want that booze. Yeah, maximum booze. Look at them go. And we got a lot of room for anyone now. We got 22 fully staffed. So we're going to start making some sweet, sweet coin. We're making 101 off the tavern right now, man. That is nuts. We got some more people who want to come in here and join our wonderful society. The main thing that's kind of hurting us right now is just the lack of tools. But once I can fill this bad boy up, we can start planting our crops. Well, this is great. Yeah, planks are a little on the light side right now. But we'll get back to where we were. Okay, cool. We got some houses over here upgrading. Mainly it's tools that's hurting me right now. That's okay. So let's pop in over here. And let's go to, not trade routes, my bad yet. Resources. Let's increase the amount of tools that we're purchasing right now. I believe it's something really low, like 10. We want to pump that up to 20. And we're going to allow our money to start accumulating. We're in really good shape, even with all the territory I purchased and all of my buildings. So this is kind of how I play. It's just, I had these grand scheme ideas. You know, we're at 71 pop of 108. And we're about to get to a point where we're actually stable, where we are producing literally every single thing that we need for the current situation. And once you get to that point, you can sit back, collect your fat stacks, and start building up the base. And then once the base is built, you can expand again and rinse and repeat that process. I don't know what I'm gonna do though, because I'm unstable. I want to do something and I just do it. We got the beautiful flames. I really want some benches. I feel the need for benches. Okay, cool. These are only 5 a pop. Yeah, it's cool as you can see that I'm making this giant area here too. So by clicking on the object and holding shift, it duplicates it. So I don't have to keep going in and out again. I should have just been doing that before. I just want to make a place for my people to sit. They need to sit. There we are. This is great. Yeah, this guy really wants to sit down, and I'm gonna help him out. Here we go. Beautiful. What else could I do to make this place a little nicer? Little bush? Yeah, little bush right there. I'm trying to think. Do they like signs? I'm not sure. Yes, we'll do a road sign. A road sign going nowhere. There we go. Beautiful. It looks authentic now. Perfect. This looks a little out of place because it's blocked. It's like right where that guy's door is. There we go. All right, there we go. I'm just making those benches look a little bit out of the way. Okay. Now I can feel a little bit better about things. All right, there we go. We need a nice shrub. Nice shrub. There we go. We're gonna just slowly start building these areas out and putting nice decorations inside of everything. All right. So we were able to get the farm up. So I need like 7 free people. Oh man, we're so close. Beautiful. I need 1 more individual. All right. So this is gonna be great. So we're gonna try to center our farms now to get the best. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be a lot better. This is great. All right, we'll get 1 more individual and we'll crank it out just a tad bit more. But this is wonderful right here. These things are burning pretty bright. I'm gonna move them just a little bit. All right, yeah, we'll move them like that. That's perfect. All right, look at our happiness, 94%. A lot of booze, a lot of boar, a lot of meat, a little bit of fish. Just a little bit of fish. But you know, you can't always win them all. We got a lot of shirts. I'm feeling good. I don't really want to trade anything here because I want to be in a place of abundance. I want to feel like a good leader for once. Tired of being a bad guy. I need to I need to get my shit together. All right, this lumber camp right here, I don't need it anymore. We're destroying it. We got 1 lumber camp over here and it's great. All right, and the church is running strong. Very good. Yes, look at it grow. There we go. Field is up. Very good. And the second guy is going to go over here. Kind of similar thing. And that's going to create way more than enough bread than we need. Now, remember what I said. If you're on ×3 mode, this bug has been here for 6 years. You do not get your full wheat yield. So what people are doing is when they see them yielding wheat, is they bust this down to ×1. And when they're done, they go back up to ×3. That's the only way to get around it right now that I know of. I'll try to find some more answers on that. I don't know the perfect answer to everything, but I try my best to get educated on those things. Okay, we're doing really well. It's amazing how important the proximity of the hunter to the boars is. Like, if I had the hunter camp next to the butcher back here, we would not have as much meat as we do. It's just the granary workers. You can see, okay, so this guy is coming to get the pig, right? He's transporting the boar to the granary. So, like, let your granary workers do their job, basically. Like, he's a transporter level 3 workplace. Yeah, let your transporters do their job. That's all I can say. Nice. So over here, we're gonna have flour and bread and 2 wheats. We can store all of our wheat. Usually the big bottleneck. Looks like we have enough for 1 more individual over here. So let's get this up. Also, kind of noticing this spot right here is dead. We're gonna go until it says it's too big. Oh, wow. So yeah, I should have probably had my building there. This is fine. At least it's not on... Okay, it's too large. Cool. Perfect size. All right. All right, we can go to square too if we want to trim this a little nicer. I do. I think this is good enough for me. All right. Yeah, we're right there. Perfect. That'll be a nice one. But yeah, you want to have your stuff a little bit in the middle. That way it's easier for them to get out and start doing their thing. We have a place for everybody to go. We have a miller. We need to get at least 1 person transporting. Everything is great. The bakery will be up soon. We'll definitely have more people in the windmill eventually. We have 3 other individuals. Let's put 2 people in the transportation. Let's put 1 person into the windmill. And let's throw the rest into any odd job that is down. We have 77 of our 108 population. I will eventually probably have to go to heavy density. But I am going to try to like make sure that everything here makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, we're in good shape, actually. We have all our jobs posted. Now, the money's really starting to come in. Taxes still ain't crap, but look at the tavern. 156. 156 from the tavern. It's basically floating the whole freaking... The whole city is being floated by my mega tavern. Oh, shit. And there, let's go to ×1 mode. We get our maximum yield. It's annoying, but it's just the way that it is. Beautiful. I'll do it once, and then I'll never do it again. I've actually been fine on ×3 mode. I just need more farms. And to be honest... I really hate micromanaging. I much prefer a set it and forget it approach to majority of my builds. Oh, it's beautiful. Harvest the grain. Harvest! Look how much we're getting off of that one freaking crop. That's great. So we're almost up. Let's prioritize the bakery. Everybody's getting the Jesus. All right, look at our happiness now. Just the taxes they're upset about. And just a slight lack of refined food, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Look how many meat boxes we got. We got lots of meat. We got the meat. We're Arby's. All right, they'll get there. They'll get it together here soon. All right, so we're gonna have bread and fish over here, and we got shirts and baskets. Perfect. Yeah, look out. That is a lot of freaking wheat. I think we're gonna do great. You can see it's a lot easier for them to walk it back if you're centralized. So, yeah, very good. This is gonna be a little inefficient over here, so I should have definitely placed. Knowing what I know now, I could probably have used the measurement system, like 11 clicks. What I could do in the future, so basically your perfect farm plot's going to be 11. All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So your perfect farm plot's going to be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, okay? Give or take a little bit. So knowing that, you could just do something this simple and say, hey, I want my farm to be right about here. And then, you know, just add a little bit to the edges until it's full. Yeah, 5x3. 5x3 corpse pits. I mean, residential flats, which are kind of corpse pits. I mean, they eventually die there. All right, perfect. And they didn't even get this other area up because it wasn't included when I first did everything. So yeah, we got like 58, it looks like. All right. I'm dying here. I can't do this at ×1. I am physically dying. You might be able to get a good return on ×2. People are still complaining about the time. People who've been playing this game much longer than me are complaining about the ×3 having reduced rates. I'm going to take their word on it. You know what I mean? They know what they're talking about more than I do. So I'm just going to go with it to the best of my ability. Perfect. All right. We're in great shape. Okay. Let's get the baker going at 4 folks. And we need a couple more people in the mill for sure. This is great. But yeah, a lot of wheat. We're going to start getting bread. It's going to help. So between bread and meat, we're going to have more refined food than they know what to do with. That's fantastic. Got places for everybody to sit. Got ourselves a nice church now. Nice as one church can be. We got a big stack of cash. I'm going to have to actually build a Scrooge McDuck vault here pretty soon. Ooh, a rustic statue. I'm going to pretend that this is a statue of me. I like it. It's beautiful. We're going to put it right there. I want everybody to be able to see it. Okay. Well, if I put this in the way, then no one will be able to see it. But I want this green thing. It makes me think of nature. There we go. Beautiful. So one thing I'm kind of curious about, I want to see this fence, this majestic fence that they were talking about. There's wood fence, stone fence, wattle fence. All right, let's go back up into here and start buying some stuff. So let us buy the city fence. Oh, we have a few more points. So I think what we should probably do is get the labor and milling taxes so we can start taxing that windmill. That's really great, actually. It's a good way to make some more money. All right, so we got another slot down here. One more taxes without penalty. That's nice. Labor building up keeps reduced to 25%. That's probably the one I'm going to go for. Trade price bonus of 10%. Don't care. Residential taxation happy. That's a good one, too, for taxes. Every time you trade the village, you get more splendor points. That's really decent, but we don't need it. We're going to go with this in the long run because I'm trying to maximize my money flow. Okay. Now we have pretty fences. So let's look. Ooh, these are actually kind of cool. This elegant fence. It's amazing. It's worth it. It's worth every penny. Oh, look at that. City gateway. Oh, I like that. Elegant gateway. All right. Okay, we're going to have an elegant gateway in here. Ooh, 10 polished. Here's the elegant fence. All right, there we go. There we go. That for now. That's going to control the way that they can come in and out of my church. So that's great. So let's look at some more beautifications that we can do to the church. Not just here, but on the building itself. Decorative walls. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, we got our rooms, the bell tower. Yeah, we're going to need to buy something actually for this. Tier 3 decorations. All right, let's see if we got anything else that we can put on this stupid building besides crosses and towers. Yeah. All right, that's what they want. I'm just going to start adding like little touches here and there. All right, we'll come back and we'll start playing around with this a little bit later. But we're getting there. We're getting some stuff done. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. I want to get at least 3 families or 3 individuals in there and a full granary for sure. Make sure the farm is full. All right, we're doing beautiful. They're getting everything out over there. This is fantastic. That's going to start producing bread, and that's going to be wonderful for us. We already got 20 bread. We're actually going to go expand that trade route while we can, before I forget. 25 bread! What is this world coming to? No, we don't have any more individuals. All right. All right, we're good. We got our sacks of fish. We need to get one more person in here. I'm going to take it out of the granary here, because I do want to have the 2 people in here for fish and bread. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, screw trade. We got a big old drunk den, and it's pulling in a good share of money, but we need more people to come. Still have a lot of alcohol. Perfect. Looks like I have, that guy's cool. Beatrice, traveler seeking lodging. Nice. Yeah, we're making good coin. We're making good coin. Yeah, we're going to need, I think the manor and all that, I'm going to want to build somewhere nice. That looks so cool. But I'm thinking I'm going to want to build a manor somewhere nicer. All right. Let's see. What can we do to make this look better? I think we're going to do trees. Just need to spice it up a tad bit. All right, there we go. We'll just make a little park bench area back there to kind of differentiate it, make it a little nicer here. Couple gravestones, never hurt anybody. All right, so we're gonna put these gravestones up right here. Now we'll get that built up. We'll have a little park area back here. This is looking good. The fencing we'll eventually have going around all of this, but right now it's looking great the way it is. So we're just gonna let them build everything up. I like it so far. I feel like this area right here, is missing something important. I don't know what that is over there, but that's weird. Ooh, banners. I like that. I also like the beautification thing, where it kind of like doubles down as you build more and more stuff together. We're going to put our banner. It has our big gold kitty on it. It's awesome. We can put it right next to this big flamey thing. Perfect. This is starting to look more like a city, or at least a respectable town. All right, cool. So hopefully I showed you how to make a moderate economy just using taverns. So the rest of this is just going to be playing the game. Okay, we're getting pretty darn close to having a lot of good stuff done. So in this video, we're going to focus on expansion and really ramping up production and getting things very efficient as possible. Let's sell some wool. Beautiful. Let's take a peek. So we have a little bit of boar there. You kind of do want to like isolate your boar areas. As you can see, I have a boar area over here, but they're not populating it as well as they were before. So we are going to want kind of like an area that we make thick. Probably do some cows and cheese in a nice little spot. Cool as we could kind of make anything that we want. I do like that this area over here is kind of like predefined for that. So I think what we're going to do is purchase this. This is perfect right here. Look at this region. It's like really long. It's awesome. We're going to purchase these 2 regions right there. It's going to allow us to branch off into more pigs, more cows, and we're going to do all that jazz. So I kind of want to make this a little nice. I think I'm going to do a wood cutting. I don't want to remove all the resources here. We do have the woodcutter coming in this area. Perfect. And we're going to start building this up as the next expansion area. So let's go into prosperity. So to get into dairy farming, we need to get to the next prosperity tier. That's pretty easy to do. A lot of this is actually pretty easy to do, but we're starting to make a lot of money. You can see the tavern's bringing a lot of money. Taxes are going to start ramping up. I'm eventually probably going to move the tax office in here. I'm going to build a much nicer and cooler manor. A lot of things to do. All right. So definitely want to get the lumber camp improvement here pretty soon. Start pumping this up to be a little bit better. Got a lot of wheat coming in right now. This is amazing. That is so much wheat. Eventually, I'll probably get a bridge over here. I'm not sure. We buy this. I want the biggest bridge possible. That's a big bridge. I don't know if this is the right spot. I was thinking about doing a monastery in the backside over here, but it's just a little too far away from everybody. All right, so we have 2 unemployed. That's really, really good. We have a full bakery. We're definitely going to want to get the windmill going at full speed here too, because fortunately there's just a lot to do. All right, let's pump this up to ×3. Now I know that the bug is causing issues with resource gathering, but I kind of just want to feel it out to see what it's like to have the ×3 mode. I notice sometimes you do actually get what I would say are normal or almost normal yields, but you'll see like your meat will be thrown off, or like you can see now berries are going in a weird direction. That's the ×3 bug. Like they're not consuming an enormous amount of berries. We have a pretty good situation going. Alcohol production is pretty darn good. In a lot of these scenarios, I just kind of build more stuff. All right, let's make sure we have full visibility on everybody. But with bread and all that stuff coming in, we should be able to easily supply our commoners. And that's the thing, is you want to make sure that your commoners aren't leaving because you're not fulfilling their needs. You come to the villager tab, you can kind of see who's pissy and who's not. You can see everybody here is in really good shape. They're like a few 75s, and you come to them, and the reason that they're mad is because of events. Their needs are being fulfilled, so a lot of these guys are pretty awesome. And you can also sort it by status. So we can come down to our commoners. Commoners are some of the happiest people here. That's really great. So we're going to start reinvesting our money into commoners, making sure we have enough beautiful houses for everybody to move into. All right, let's go to our policies in the manor. Promote our villagers, and let's just start going down the line. This is really important. We want to get all those proficiencies up. Get some more individuals here. So we're getting close to our cap, so we are going to want to start thinking about getting into the heavy fortifications. Now we can do that with a city belfry and a centralized market area. It's not a bad idea, but honestly it's not even totally necessary. It's surprising how great just a few of these gents can do, especially when they're so close to the means of production. I kind of just want to leave them alone. We can get heavy through using some guards and some fortified towers. So we have 3 watchman posts that we can use. We only have 2 people patrolling right now, and they're doing a great job. All right, in the building tab, we're going to get our transporters up and get the miller to 6. There we go. We're at pretty much max employment there, and we have a few more spots, so we're just going to keep going that direction. 90 pop. We're getting close to needing to get into heavy. So we have 221. Let's start. Let's start doing some smart stuff. So I do think we're actually going to get the tax office up over here. Now, one thing I'm noticing, the way that they collect, right? So if you come over and you click on the Great Hall and you click on the tax office, where are our tax collectors, right? They're over here and they're over here. So they are acting independent. That's good. We saw with our watchmen that they were not acting independently. So that was kind of annoying. So we are going to need a treasury at some point. That's why I'm saying we're going to need a nice area. Now, what's kind of cool is you can see the tax collector minimum on some of these towers is 1, minimum 1. The minimum is on a hall is 2. So you could even have your tax collectors on the sides and towers, right? So it's kind of cool. I think we might actually do that. It's a novel idea, but we don't have to fill the center. We could have the tax collectors literally be like right here, and some of these areas are thin and they don't even touch the house. So it's like, what if we did something a little different, you know? So let's get him here, and then let's get the tower here. Don't like that. I want this into here. Perfect. Cool. So in between these 2 houses is going to be the tax collector now, and we can have 2 tax collectors here. So we're going to bump this up until we can get 3, and the points do add up, like the decimals and all that. So there's 3 tax collectors right there. Now that may or may not be enough, but I like the way that it kind of looks. We're gonna go with it. Cool. Tax collector right there. And I think, remember, we can repurpose buildings. So instead of this being a tax office, right? We come over to switch the functionality. I can change this into my bailiff. So now it's the bailiff. Now I have a bailiff. This is perfect. So let's assign our bailiff. Combat training increased by 10%. Don't like that. Trade price bonus of 10% from village with clergy, kingdom, and labor allegiance. I mean, it's better than nothing right now. It's not, I don't really need combat. All right. And the Great Hall is fine. So now we have that. So what we want to do is eventually cut down like the majority of the trees here. So what do we have? We have wood cutting here? No. We do have reforestation though. So I don't want this area to be reforested or anything, because I want to be able to see. Perfect. All right, we got a good chunk of change. But I say we build out a grand manor around this area, make it look nice. So one of the first things that I would personally like to do is create a sub-building for the treasury. We're going to have an enormous amount of money, and we're going to need a place to store it. So behind it, we're going to place 2 treasurers, and that's going to give us a 900 capacity. What's interesting is I copied the same building, but you can see it kind of off. But that's okay. Build all. All right. Now we're going to let them get all that work done. Okay. We got a couple people over here. Got a little bit done. There's still a lot to be done in the back here. Okay, we'll let them get that up. That will help us. We're going to have a lot of money now coming in, especially from the tavern. You can see the berry situation, so a lot of people are losing their crap, and rightfully so. That it does feel like, you know, sometimes productions just kind of seesaw a little too hard. Right now we have 110 bread. We have a lot of shirts. We're going to be in good shape here in a moment. Let's go to select mandate. Let's invest to increase the trade routes. We can start investing in trade here in a little bit, but we're going to start really getting each side of this done in a good way. All right. So the best way for us to get labor splendor is to deck out the Great Hall, because we get that 1.5 additional increase in splendor. It's insane. It really is. We can use bushes. We can do anything we want. You can see here we're getting 3 a pop. It's not bad. Just a bit of tools. We're going to do it. But over here, I think we're just going to spam bushes and get ourselves up high enough so we can get cows going here soon. But it would be nice to make our area just look really cool. Yeah, so we can definitely put up some banners. Wind torch post. I like the sound of that. We'll put that up right there. Very cool. Very cool. Some of this stuff is really expensive and doesn't have like a whole lot of splendor. That's why, you know, just bush spawning really is the way to go. We'll just make it look a little pretty. Let's wrap it around all the way over here. Here we go. We're at 99 splendor. So we just need to hit 150. That will open up more privileges, mining taxes, which could be useful later if we decide to go that route. Mostly I just want city fortifications. The city market could even actually be pretty cool. But I'd have to destroy everything that I've built. And, you know, we don't have to build every single thing in the game. We got a lot going on. Go and make sure everybody's employed. All right, priest. Yeah, we're in good shape. We need to make more jobs here momentarily. All right, we're going to get another gatherer up. So we did buy out this area over here, but you can see there's not really a lot of berries over there. The majority of the berries are actually all around this part here. So I'm going to actually get another berry gatherer, and I'm going to put them right here. Perfect. All right, let's get these guys in. We'll throw them all in the berries. Okay. We did a really good job. People are very, very happy. I'm going to shake the town down because we can afford to. No one's going to leave, and we're going to get a big chunk of change. That's beautiful. All right, let's get these last splendor points. So there's a lot that we can do. And we're going to try to make this area look as cool as possible. Here we go. We got a nice little entryway. That's kind of cool. We can put a gated entryway right here. Not a whole lot of points, but I think it looks cool. It doesn't really do anything to further what we're trying to do, but I want to do it. Nice. These cypress are 3. They're a little pricey, but I think they look kind of cool. We're going to put them in the bushes. We'll have bushes around the cypress. Anything we can do to make this thing look a little cooler than it is. What's neat is that you don't actually destroy the berry bushes, as you can see. All right, we need 630. I might have to shake the town down one more time, but I do think that is going to look cool around the whole building. Maneuver these a little bit better on spacing. Very good. All right. With that 603, we should be in good shape. Now we don't have enough room for all of it, so... All right. Okay. I'm just going to break it down to what we can afford for now, and then we'll just keep adding those as we get more money, and we'll look great. All right, we got 17. Not bad. We're getting close to being able to unlock some more stuff. Berry Hut is up. Let's get that going. We're at 93. We're getting really close to having our max pop. We'll definitely want to get these guys into the higher tiers. Now that we've hit this point, we need to get another tax collector over there, but overall, they should do an okay job. I do like it. Nice little tax collector area over there. I think it's kind of cool having the gaps between all these houses because you can just kind of add things as you need. Right. So flour is in low... Yeah, they're really... It keeps saying missing resources, but they have so much of it. And we're going through... Yeah, we're getting some of the bugs. We're definitely getting some of the bugs. But we'll get some more grain here. And with the hunter camp over here, I don't think we're ever going to, like, want for anything, to be honest. We're going to have cows and hunter camps over here. And we're going to be pulling in more than we need. This is going to be pretty intense, in fact. All right, let's get some more people. Let's make sure that this berry guy is full up. We just need to make sure the alcohol's coming in and that we're, appropriately building everything that we need. All right, we're doing good. The inn is getting a lot of visitors, so that's good. We really need that money. I think, I do think we actually need to start pimping this out a little, because that might actually attract visitors. So why not? Same token. But let's try to pimp it out a bit. I want to go for these gents because they give a lot. They're really expensive, but they give a lot of splendor, and I think they do look cool, to be honest. There we go. That will give us a bunch of splendor. Got 300. Take a peek at decorations that we could use around here. Yeah, there's quite a bit of things that we can do to make this look really nice. And let's focus on the inn as the basis for all beautification, just to see if that will help us attract. Definitely gonna want to put some. That's too far. Okay, I think we should put outward-facing banners. Maybe one. Let people know what's going on over here. Wall lanterns. Wall lanterns are pretty sweet. Yeah, let's definitely do one wall lantern. One or two. Maybe have another wall lantern over there, just for show. Cool. I do like the fact that you can just really decorate your cities and make them look nicer. All right, let's get a bench back here. And there's actually a lot of things that you can poke onto the sides, like fountains and all types of stuff. We're not there because we don't have that tier of beautification, but there's quite a bit. Yep, weather vanes. We definitely want to get all of these weather vanes up. These are huge. Go. Okay. That is probably more than enough to get what we need. You can see these benches are very popular. I am going to go to the public lounge. All right. And like terrace seating is really nice to have. Just even if it's just a few. Have a few out front. Perfect. All right. But we just need to kind of let them build everything up. And we're going to be in good shape. Got a hunter going over here. Nice. That would have almost been a good trade, but I just don't have enough accumulated. All right, we have more fishing over here in that region that we just purchased, so we're definitely going to get another fishing hut up. Help out, get some more food coming in. Put it right there. Perfect. I think we're actually going to get 2 of them up. 2 more up. There's 2 spots over there. Now, we probably should keep them close, but the granary workers are going to have to travel further. I don't know. It's actually kind of a toss-up when you're at a point like this, so let's just have one. I'll let the granary worker do all the heavy lifting. All right, perfect. Put one over there and see if that works out. More gents. Let's go to our big old book. Ooh, we got mandates. All right, let's start using our influence to welcome more people into the village. Go to the book. Go to our billings tabs, and let's make sure everybody's here. Hunter, 3 to 3 tax collector. Very good. I think we're definitely going to need another stonemason. We're using a lot of shaped stone in this advanced stuff, so I'm going to get a stonemason right behind him. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I think it's time to go on another spree. Promote our villagers. So let's start doing everybody says they'll benefit. There's quite a few of them. We're just going to keep going down the line. Looks like I'm going to need a few more houses upgraded too. There we go. Conclude promotions. We definitely need to start doing beautifications here. We're going to need a lot more houses. Actually, a lot of these guys are in the radius already, simply because of all the beautifications we've been doing. That's what's kind of nice. So like here, you can see it grows and grows, so I don't have to get it that close. I can just put down a bunch of bushes and we're in good shape. All right, 91% happiness. That's really nice. I'm going to shake the whole village down. Very good. Very good. Okay, we got all those bushes up now. So a lot of these guys should have the beautification around them. Do this. Yeah, you can see that one has it, but not doing a good job of it. That's good. And look at that circle. That's amazing. He's got a bush. He's got a bush. Everybody's got bushes. All right. Let's do a few more bushes over here. Perfect. All right. So these houses should all start upgrading naturally. We're at 97 pop. We're getting really close. There we go. There's a big old group of people. Perfect. All right, berries are really starting to hurt. And this is unfortunate that it could be related to alcohol, but it could also be related to bugs. They're just not gathering things appropriately. We'll have to play it by ear because we were doing fine before. We do have more people, so I mean they are consuming. But we got the meat, got bread available. Ooh, that's a big group. There we go, 106. So we're there. And there are a lot of berries around these parts. Not so much over here or even over in this area, but there's a nice little spot back here that I think we're going to get up a hut. Perfect. All right, look at that. We're starting to get things on the road now. Let's go back into the buildings tab. Just go down the line. Stone mason. There we go. Cool. That should help out quite a bit. We have 8 unemployed, so we're doing great. And we got the treasury up, so now we can have a total of 1,100. I don't think it's full. Well, yeah. It's not. The third one isn't up yet, so there'll be another 600 we get. Very good. We're in great shape. Nice. Look at all that money that's starting to pour in now. This is kind of crazy. We have a lot of money. We really do. All right, let's go to mandates. And let's start promoting again. Perfect. Promote, 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 promote. Okay, so it looks like we got everybody who would benefit from being promoted. We do not have enough to go to the next tier because we don't have luxury goods and they'll just leave. You gotta be really careful about promoting people if you can't sustain them. So we can do a great job with what we got, and the tax office should actually start making quite a bit of money off this. So let's go to our taxation and let's crank up commoners to a midpoint and serfs to a small point there. And yeah, we're just going to really start cranking up the money maker now. So money's going to start pouring in like it's never poured in before. It's going to be fantastic. You can see I'm at 136, so I'm really close to having enough splendor. Now, we have a lot of stuff being built up over here that's going to just naturally get us where we need to be. It looks like we just need basic stone and some tools, so I'm going to leave them a little bit of money so we can purchase tools. And let's go to trade, okay? So the people that we can buy tools from, we can buy 40 at a time now because we increased it. We can unlock this trade route. I should have done that a while back. And we can unlock this trade route now too. Cool. A lot of things that we can do. We can actually even buy raw stone. We can sell berries. We can sell all types of stuff. That's actually pretty amazing. All right, berries and everything is starting to come back together. Bread seems to be doing a little bit bad now. So we should probably start getting out our second wheat farm. 2 wheat farms is usually enough. Okay, we will have to cut down some of the area over here. I'm going to center this as best as I think I can. Now, I showed you in the last one how to do it. I think this is actually right about where you want it to be. But let's build out the whole thing. Gotta make sure we don't block ourselves off. Perfect. Bring this in as much as we can. Oh, wow. We can bring it in pretty much all the way. Very good. All right, 2 of those for increased storage, and then we can have these guys going out the side. Why is... Okay, that didn't work. There we go. All right, perfect. Okay, we're in good shape. Okay, so we'll get that farm up. We'll be in good shape. And then the rest of this is going to be cows and the like. All right. Another person. That puts us at 108. We're at full pop now. Until I can get heavies. A lot of this now is just needing to get, like, just kind of like set it and forget it. Probably come back in like 10 minutes or something. We just need like a bunch done. So we got a lot of money coming in. They're going to naturally start spending a lot of that money. I might even need to, quite honestly, get bigger treasury. But we need a lot of polished stone. Let's actually go to trade. So I do have us trading a lot of polished stone. I'm going to set a new quota. Like, I don't want to trade unless we have 50 polished stone now. And tools I want to buy all the way up to 50. I say we start really using our money. And we're not really buying anything else, though we could. We very well could. Common clothes, I'm not going to sell any. Eventually, we're going to start running out of clothing. Meat, I could sell. I'm not really needing to trade. The tavern and taxes should provide the majority of what we need. All right, housing is insufficient, but that's just because we don't have every house up to beautification standards. So it's in the zone. There we go. Let's just do one more. Do one more. Yeah, every single house, for sure, is within range of beautification. You can see this area is growing. It's a beautiful area. We're just going to start kind of spamming bushes wherever we can. Perfect. All right, we're in good shape now. Got some cool houses. Wonderful. I'm not going to take any more people because we're at capacity. All right, we're doing good over there. Doing good over there. Looks like we're getting more fish coming in, so that's great. Let's take a gander. See if anyone can be upgraded. It doesn't look like it. Looks like we're at a good level. Awesome. One thing it's not going to tell you, though, is these gents over here. Okay, yeah, it did. It did. So we want to get these guys the villagers. I could import luxury goods. Like I could do a lot of that stuff. I don't really want to do that. Honestly, I am kind of debating getting a city market. It's not a terrible idea. And we're just a few more splendor away. We're going to get it just from this stuff over here. But you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just rush it. Let's just buy some bushes and get it done with. Get a few cypress, maybe one or two. Perfect. There we go, 151. Now we can go down the line. Okay. So now I can get city fortifications once I get 35 labor badges or whatever those things are called. And yeah, we're in good shape. City fortifications will allow me to build a big old tower. And we can get about 72 more people in here. That's not bad. Nice, we got the traders coming. They're starting to get up some of this stuff now too. This is great. This is looking really... I actually really like the elegant fence. It does look elegant. It's beautiful. All right. People are happy-ish. Man, our max cap labor influence is 50, so we just kind of have to start doing some quests. We can pay these guys back here pretty soon. And maybe get some quests and get those points up. All right, we have 9 unemployed individuals. All right, we got a farmer... Slightly up. Gathering hut workplace is under construction. Nice. Almost got the fishing hut up. I might actually... I have one builder. I have one builder building. And I think we're at a point now where... Got one builder right over here. I think we're definitely at a point where it makes sense to have multiple builders. I think I might even put a builder in here. Just like, you know, have them close to where all the houses are upgrading. It's kind of cool that we just have all this space and we can really do anything we want. I'm going to put them right here. All right, we're actually running out of logs. That's amazing. All right, there we go. Okay, we're going to buy the lumber camp expansion. And we're for sure, like, so we have this whole area here that we're kind of cutting down. You can see them, they're actually moving over there. I think, you know, like, maybe I might just convert all of this to boars and we might just stick to cutting things down over there. So let's do something a little wild here. Let's come back over here with wood, and let's just focus on this area here. The forester camp, great. We're gonna switch this out. We're not gonna cut any, we're just gonna use this purely for boars now. And we're gonna cut down over here. We're gonna double everybody up. I'm gonna take one dude, and he's gonna be homeless, and that's fine. Just wanted him to go away, to be honest. The sawmill. All right. So we're gonna cut back on the sawmill so that we can start getting some of these things up. Accidentally move the hunter's hut. My bad. Wrong thing. Okay. Yeah, we want to leave this right here next to the bridge. Great. We want to move the lumber camp over here. That's good too. We're going to prioritize the movement. We have a lot of tools. All right, we got 10. We have enough? Cool. We have enough to do the builders. Now we got 3 more builders because we really needed them. Yeah, we're using an enormous amount of wood and planks and everything for all of this. This is amazing over here. You could almost say that we don't even... Maybe we should just stop hunting over here, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, we're straight up going to abandon this area for hunting. We're going to just bring all of our hunters over here. It just makes the most sense. It really does. And, like, I know I have the butcher right here. But this granary can be expanded for meat, or we can even just do another granary itself. But let's just do a granary expansion right here. And we'll move some of the stuff here in a little bit. That's perfect. All right. The camp is producing. So now we can just really focus on making this as the best it can be. So let's get a few little expansion areas up to hold as much wood as possible. And then we can add worker capacity through these little tents. Oh wow, we can do a lot of these. That's pretty amazing. Drinking post, 2 workers. Okay, that's like more than enough right there. We'll do that. Right on. Okay, we're in good shape. But yeah, we're not really generating as many boars as that we have over here. So, like, what's the point, right? So we can keep this area forested, and we can keep hunting over here. This should be more than enough food. It's beautiful. We're actually gonna probably turn some of this into agriculture right there, but that's fine. Try to get as much of this area down here as possible. We got ourselves another fisher. Let's get that going. We want to make sure that at a minimum we're bringing in all the food that we need. The ×3 bug does seem to get more exacerbated as time goes by. we're gonna get rid of all the hunting over here. We already got it set up to replant, and yeah, we're just gonna start cutting all this down. We're gonna start cutting all this down. Beautiful. Nice, we got the fence up. Very good. Looking really cool. I like the gate. I like the walkways and everything going around. And it's like stuck open with all of the dudes. All the dudes for hunting. I'm gonna reload. There we go. Reload and got rid of it. I'm gonna take this extra person. It's cool if they're homeless for now. Alright, cool. So once all this is up, I can get this crop field going. Alright, we're kind of in a dire situation right now. We're like, we just don't have wood. So I know I have this whole little camp over here. We have plenty of workers. I'm just gonna get up a temporary lumber camp that I will destroy. Let's prioritize this, and let's get these guys going. We just need to get people out here cutting trees down so that we can get these houses up really quick. Everything's really gray right now. I do like that I can kind of put buildings inside of this area. It makes it feel a little bit more full and alive, and so we're going to keep just building it out the way we have been. Now, we have enough points almost to get city fortifications. That'd be great. But there we go. We got some more wood coming in now. It's primarily the builders that are having like the biggest bottleneck right now. There we go. Yeah, the builders are helping out. They're getting things going. There we go. Look at them go now. That's beautiful. All right, cool. So that lumber camp is producing at full speed. This should really help. We'll need to get all the sawmills going. This camp, we should be able to start getting up to a lot of people now. Perfect. All right, we should be there in no time now. I think we're going to stop selling alcohol. So we're not going to sell it anymore. Perfect. And I think we're actually going to try to put a city gateway in here. There we go. Alright, we were able to kind of get it around. Alright, there we go. A little bit of adjustment. But it'll be nice for them to be able to walk out the back here instead of just having multiple avenues to move around is always nice. Especially as things get complicated. Alright, we'll just take that dude. I don't care. Alright, cool. We got this logging camp up to max. So it can hold up to 100. I think I'm just going to keep them all. I'm just going to let them go to town, man. I'm just going to let them go to town. We're going to get the saw pit back up, and we can come back over here later. We just have a bunch of people sitting around doing nothing. So, probably a good use of their time. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's get some more berries going here in the background. This is wonderful. So, we did hit 111 pop. We're going as fast as I possibly can. And now we're there. We got city fortifications. All right. And we do have some money, so let's get another edict. Not a bad idea to do this. It's not a bad idea to really do anything. Let's get luxury markets, and let's have some fancy bridges. Fancy bridges are cool. Okay. All right, so for fortification, we can use the city watchtower. Now, one of the negatives to doing the watchtower is, yes, it does have a pretty heavy cost as far as all of the guards that you need to maintain it. But I think we can get away with it, so we're going to place it right here. And let's see, this is looking pretty good. Yeah, I know we can use the visibility up here, but we'll go up into that. Let's keep the game going so this thing gets out of my way. We can see that it hits a good selection of houses here. So let's see, how close can we get this thing? It's not bad. We can hit pretty much all those houses with just one of them. Let's get this as close as we can in here. I'm liking this. Get the first 2 rows, get these 2 rows. So it's really this 3rd row that we have to be smart about. So it looks like we're missing this one over there and potentially gaining that one. So I think what we'll do is we'll try to hit all of these houses. And, you know, if we don't hit every single house, that's cool too. I do believe I had it so that if you go from the sides, you would hit every house. Yeah. Except for this house right here and this house right there. And that's mainly because of this gent in our way. So let's try something. Let's try something. Try putting it... Fortunately, you really do have to have it in the middle. I think we're going to go back to having it right here. Unfortunately, it won't differentiate. And it highlights all of the houses, so you're going to have to kind of... Sometimes if you can get a little portion of it in the right area, it will do it correctly. This isn't terrible. We're going to place it right here. And this gent we're going to place kind of right here next to this tower, facing the opposite direction. think that we got it all right there. This is perfect. We can see that the two zones combined together are missing this house over there and there. So it's really only two houses that are not getting hit, and that's fine. Now, had we had bigger, thicker walls, we could have gotten it much easier going through, I think, castle fortification, sorry, stone castle walls would do it. But we can build, we're going to need other housing districts, you know what I mean? So getting it good enough, honestly, makes me feel alright. Makes me feel good. Alright, edicts and privileges. Let's see what we can get here. Upkeep of production buildings decrease, parts decreased by 50%. Don't ever want this one because of the negative to yields. Bulk trade, don't really want that one either. So we're going to go with sturdy material. Alright, perfect. Alright, so once those get up, we're going to be in golden shape. So we're definitely going to want to take on new people. We'll get the guards. Luckily, each of these watchtowers are literally right next to where we're going to be putting the watchmen. So I'm assuming that this actually might be still pretty good. So we'll put a watchman here, and we'll put a watchman there, and we'll see if that works. So we got watchmen literally right next to where they need to be going. Looks like the patrols are starting to hurt a little bit. So let's put a patrol and a watchman in this, and hopefully that will kind of all even out. You see we have extended guard coverage, but we don't have the towers quite up yet. So we do need pretty light amount of material to build these towers. Mostly it is the polished stone, but we have two polished stoners going. So we're doing really well there. Looks like we're also going to need a big group of people for the next wheat farm. Berries are still kind of hurting. We have another gatherer hut over here we can start using. Meat seems to be good. Fish seem to be doing really, really well. So that's great. We just need to let people keep coming here. And the forester camp is doing a good job. We're just going to try to connect the zones here. All right, let's also make sure that the wood cutting is over here. Okay, they have plenty of places they can go for cutting wood. Now we can cover the bridge. We can make the bridge look prettier. I'm on board with pretty bridges. Yes, perfect. All right, and then you put the end piece last, but you don't even really have to do the end piece. It's fine without it. All right, get that up too. Sheep are doing pretty darn decent. Let's see what we got going on here. We got enough wool. We got enough clothing. We got enough cloth too. Yeah, everything is in a good shape right now. The wood's really starting to come together. We do have more logging camps that we need. I think we're going to destroy the... We have this mega logging camp right here. So I am going to destroy this guy now so that I can get the berries going. We're going to definitely want to get our berries up. Perfect. And then we also have our hunters over here. Perfect. I'm going to extend the granary several times. I want to store meat and such over here. Only two allowed. Okay. So we'll have two being built. I think it's also time, because we are moving the meat and all that, I think it's time to get the butcher and move that over here. So I'm hoping that we can organize this just a tad bit better. Great. Perfect. All right. Get that going. Hire that individual there. Hire that individual. We are in golden shape now. Got 3 people we can place. And we have some buildings that are going to start upgrading here momentarily. Great. Yeah, we're in decent shape. I really hate when it highlights these items in red. Because even when they're built, they still tend to have that highlight. And it looks awful. Do this. There we go. Perfect. All right. Our inn is definitely ready. We just need to wait for people to come. We have a really good income now. I don't want to do that. Let's tax windmills. Oh yeah, I definitely want to do that. All right, 84% happiness. Population's growing. We should be able to get this to like around 170-ish, because these 2 houses on the sides aren't going to go. About 172, I think. All right. Got 2 extra people. I'm going to just start getting this farm going. Switch to the square. And so I know for a fact we're going to want to take a good chunk here. See how big this guy is over there? Yeah, he's good. Perfect. We'll want to make it as close together as possible. I think we'll take this area here. That'll be great. So over here, I'm going to do a resource removal. Fortunately, there goes some of the berry game. That's all right. Berry game is moving around. That's fine. And we got a berry guy right there. Go back to this real quick because we are going to be planting crops on that. So unfortunately, okay, let's move this gent somewhere a little bit better. I think I'll actually just move it over here next to all the other guys because we're going to start moving out. I may even get a monastery to start doing some of that stuff. So if I wanted to do something over here, it'd be 15 a month. Not an entirely bad idea. We do get a monastery out though. Closer to where food is stored is better. Honestly, I'd almost like to get the monastery out close to this area. So this area over here actually makes a whole lot of sense for a monastery. Over the castle. Perfect. Alright, let's see. We got 2 more that can come into this area. It's too large. It's about to change. So I think this is good for now. Perfect. Put this at the ×3 mode. I'm going to try to get my game to work even with the ×3 bug. I really want to get to a point where I can just leave it on ×3. I hate having to switch in and out of stuff. Alright, yeah, we're going to want to get a monastery for honey so that we can go to the next tier. So it's kind of like we have to get a monastery up at a certain point, and that certain point is right now. So I did unlock the nicer bridges, so I say we get the coolest, sleekest bridge possible. Right here seems as good a place as any. This is going to be a rather small monastery, and I think it's primarily just going to focus on getting berry production. Okay. So I'm actually going to want to strip this whole island down bare so I can see everything. And we're just going to get a humble berry honey monastery going. It's going to be great. Very small. Okay, things are doing well. We got these houses going up to high. So this is what they look like at high density. They look really cool. This is great. We need an enormous amount of stone. That's not cool. Okay. I have a feeling that I'm gonna be in a lot of pain. Alright. We'll just get another stone cutter up. Perfect. Now we have a lot more people that can come, and if we need more people, we can always build out, you know, another guy. Not a big deal. So over here we have our wood, and they don't seem to be going across for, oh, they are. They're going across for wood. Perfect. But yeah, we should be able to get all the wood we need in this area. I'm just going to allow this to continue to be a wood industrial complex because it just makes the most sense, honestly. And I think what we're going to do is expand this so we can have more wood stockpiled. So let's edit. Let's go to this. All right, perfect. Right there. Wonderful. So we have this granary in the extension. Doing a good job with berries and all that. This gen over here. All right, we're in good shape. We're going to start getting more bread. We're going to start getting more everything. Our shirts are really starting to go down. We're going to have to focus on cloth here in a moment. I may need to get another thing of sheep. There's going to be these giant fluctuations because of the ×3 bug. That is one of the main issues with it. All right, we almost got the second increase there. This is great. So we'll get that bridge up. Get that area all done. Perfect. Okay, so over here, jewelry, dairy farming. All right, we got to go into dairy farming. So this whole area over here was planned for dairy farm. I'm trying to kind of tackle multiple demands of the city right now, so I'm going to have to move in 2 directions. It doesn't seem like we're having... Yeah, we got partial guard coverage, but honestly, I think it's working just fine. With the 3 that we have, I think we're in good shape. We're able to keep everybody happy with the 3. The house is moving well. Looks like we didn't finish building this, or we did? Huh, I guess we did. Expand your treasury capacity by 600. Right. We have a lot of things to do. Money, to me, is kind of one of the big ones. So I'm going to have to expand my treasury at some point as well. Housing should be sufficient here momentarily. So we just got to let them get their things up. Alright, we're doing good. Once this nice little bridge is up, we'll start working on the monastery. I think I'm going to move all berry production to the monastery. Because we can pull a lot of these workers out of the gathering huts. They seem to be slightly efficient, but I'm noticing some inefficiencies. Boot this up to a higher priority. I do have multiple builders now. That doesn't seem to be doing much for me. Maybe I need another builder. Alright. Pretty much all the workplaces are under construction. Alright, we're going to prioritize the second stonecutter camp. Looks like these guys are doing great. Everybody's doing great. The big thing right now is the boards. We just and builders, realistically. So I have 4 free people. I mean, why not, right? It does seem like we need a lot more builders for how large everything is. I'm going to put a builder. I have a builder right there. I have a builder right over there. And we're going to place a builder in the industrial sector. Actually makes a lot of sense to have a builder down here. Build that guy up. Let's get him to work. There's just too many things to be building right now. As these houses upgrade and as we expand, we're just going to need a lot of them. All right, cool. We got another stone. Even just getting 1 person in there is probably better than 0. All right, we got 2 more folk for the mine. Get a bunch of stone going. That'll help us out a lot. All right, cool. Butcher's back up and working again. So a couple of things are hurting us right now is that I'm moving things around and restarting productions, but we should be in good shape now. It's always kind of dangerous doing that because your higher tier commoners, they have pretty big demands. And if you can't meet them, they will leave. All right, we have a 126 pop right now. It looks like our tax office is doing a great job. We have a lot of money. Let's go see who we can impress, or upgrade, I should say. Go down the line. All right, we're in good shape. Taxes are pretty decent. Yep, let's tax the windmill now. That's another big chunk of change. All right, let's go here and start promoting. 1 there, and 3 right here. Not too many. Perfect. So yeah, once promoted, we'll need more goods, we'll need luxury, we'll need multiple types of refined food, housing, and they'll need entertainment. I can fulfill some of that stuff, but not all of it. The main thing I need to do is get honey going for a luxury good. And I don't need to be perfect, I just need to do decently enough. Yeah, the lack of refined food was really hurting us, but now that we got the butcher here, and we're going to assign pigs and meat right here. And we're going to assign berries and brew as well. Actually, we could still use this guy for berries. He's pretty much the same distance as everything else. So let's just do 2 things of meat. And screw that. I can do a special guy for that. I'm going to have to do another granary just for the cheese and just for the milk, to be honest. And I think I'm going to upgrade this too. Okay, it's cool. I'll throw it away. I know I can empty it, but I just don't want to do it. All right. We got plenty of grain. We need a lot of storage for grain. And I think a couple storage for meat and boars is really going to help out, especially being right next to the butcher. So let's focus there. We'll do another granary up here in a little bit. Kind of like the one. I kind of like the couple trees there. Perfect. All right, let's go to our big old list of buildings. Boot up the farmers. There we go. We got 7 out of 7 farmers. So is this too big? It is too big still. Okay, cool. We can start shaving a little bit. All right, so I think we should shave down here. Let this area be natural. And cut this off a bit. Cut this area to the top just a tad bit. Perfect. Still a little too large. Okay, I think we'll just start shaving from down here. Till it says it's good. That's interesting. Seems smaller. Why does it say it's too big? It's definitely not too big. This one was... Yeah, that's weird. That's adequate? That doesn't make any sense. Why is this one, with the same amount of workers, able to be so much bigger? That it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's because it's I don't know. It looks potentially like this one's wider. Yeah, that could be it. That's interesting. All right, there we go. That's good enough. Let's see how much grain we get out of that. I mean, yeah, it is a bit wider, but that should be good. Be very good. Honestly, if anything, I should probably cut it where this road is. That's where the debt, we're losing good crop area there. All right, too big. Okay, perfect. All right, we'll leave it right there. Got the bridge going. All right, we're in business. We are in business. Things are going along really well. 1 free worker. It says insufficient housing, but I don't know if that's insufficient housing for the peasants. I mean, we have a lot of buildings that are upgrading, so we just need to, keep doing that. We'll be in good shape. Eventually, I'm going to be pulling some people in the monastery as well, so our berries are coming in, meat's coming in, fish is coming in, bread is coming in. Like, we do have quite a bit of everything here. This is great. We don't have berries stored there, though. That's not good at all. Alright. So this one didn't get the heavy fortification because this city watchtower is not up yet. Okay, cool. I think we also need another weaver's hut. So we're going to get that up. Get another weaver's hut up. Perfect. Alright, we have enough for wool, cloth, common, tools, wood, planks. Yeah, that's all good. And then we'll get the second guy up. That's perfect. Wonderful. All right, Bear. It looks like our food is starting to stabilize now, so that's good. Almost got another house right there. I think we're going to prioritize construction of the city watchtower so those houses can start pumping up. People are all doing a great job down there, though. Yeah, as long as the workers are there, they seem to be doing a great job. All right. Rain just kind of scary. They just harvested the whole thing and it's like all gone. Yikes. Well, that was a small field, though. They didn't have it all up, so we'll see. What you're supposed to do when you see them harvesting is go down ×1 mode. I'm wondering if you can get away with ×2. It doesn't feel like it. We should have like hundreds and hundreds of grain, and we're definitely not at hundreds. So yeah, you might have to go down to ×1. At least we could probably go back to ×3 mode when we have a good surplus of grain. Like right now, we just really don't. Alright, let's let them do that. See if that makes a huge difference for us. There is a lot of grain here. Alright. This individual. Okay. Yeah, stone is a little hard right now. We're going through quite a bit of it. But once we get some of this stuff up, not these guys, but yeah, some of these bigger buildings, they take a bit. And all the elegant fencing kind of took a bit out of us. There we go. We're getting a little bit more. We have a lot of money. So let's just start unlocking everything we can. Just gonna go down the line and just buy everything. Alright, I can't stomach ×1 mode anymore, but I do think we were getting a lot more grain being on ×1 mode, but let's see what we can do. See, it's all gone. Dang, dude. They put it all into the windmill. My bad. I was like, where did it all go? And they literally just... That's crazy. Alright. Well, 4 of it will make 1 flour, and 5 bread per 3 flour and 1 water. Not bad. We have the well right next to this area, so they should be good. Alright, well, let's make some bread. Got our meat box, we got our berry boxes, got our fish, got no breads. Alright, bread should be brought to market now. We're starting to make it again. Alright, things are looking up. They're definitely looking up. We just need to continue making sure that we have enough for everybody. We're running out of shirts. A big part of that is just straight up running out of all resources. Best suited for citizens. Yep. We're going to need to get citizens here soon. Alright, and the bridge is starting to get up. Perfect. Waiting on the traders to come in with some tools that we can purchase. I'm actually not opposed to having some houses over here for jobs. I think what we're going to do is a little trick. I don't know. We'll see if they can build a house here or not. We can shave them down. Alright, cool. Because you can shave the houses down. They actually don't take up that much space. Trick is, how do I get it? Yeah, I can't just like do this, can I? Put a house up. You usually have to have it 11 tiles. It would be cool if I could. Sometimes if you go long, you can get it to work. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'll have to go big. But even just 2 houses over here, I think would help out a lot. Here's what's going on there. Alright. Well, the demand isn't there. But, you know, building just 1 house right here, that's great. Whatever I can do to just get jobs next to where the people are makes them a little bit better. These guys are so close to their job sites over here, there's no point. But some of these jobs over here are a little further away. Makes a little bit of sense. Alright, cool. We got a trader. I'm hoping he's bringing tools. I really need tools. We're going through the stones so quickly. Fish are doing great. Bread, not so much. Alright, get a couple more people. Alright, we got 7. Alright. Okay. So it's really hard to see back here, but that's alright. We're going to get 3 dairy farms up. And a granary. Just for milk and cheese production. And 1 cheesemaker. I think 1 cheesemaker should be able to handle it. We'll find out. Looks like we need a little bit of cash. Tempted to shake the city down for it. Yeah, I need to make sure I have money for this, like when these guys are coming in. Because if I don't have money, I won't be able to buy tools, and that will hold us back. So unfortunately, I spent too much money. I'm going to have to shake everybody down. But you can see the tavern's bringing in 185. It's bringing in so much. Trade is -68, of course, because we're buying an enormous amount of tools. But yeah, we got a bunch of money there. And that's good. We're going to start building out all these things back here. Perfect. Alright, a lot of this is just boards and tools, so we'll just have to let them kind of build up into it. But with the meat and dairy this way, we have a whole opportunity over here to expand. Part of me was also thinking maybe I need, more grain than what I have here, but realistically, it's kind of weird. You can see that we have quite a bit of wheat coming in now. So let's just see if this can kind of catch up, and then we can go from there. Oh, heck yeah. 2 weavers. All right, cool. We can get weaving now. That's why I didn't want to sell shirts. You can kind of see how quickly things change. Go to mandates. And let's upgrade anybody we can. We have a bunch of people in new jobs. So there we go. Couple weavers. Upgrade. Perfect. Take them. All right, we got ourselves a covered bridge. Not bad. And our wood is full. All right. Well, if we're at full wood, we definitely want to make sure we have room for more. I'm going to do 2 things of wood. Perfect. And we'll see what other things accumulate here in time. So far, I think that's going to be it. It's pretty good. I think we probably have way too many people cutting down trees, but you know what? We're fine. Should probably get another board maker, to be honest. Yeah, the demand is just so insane that doing another sawmill actually does make a whole lot of sense. I think I had 4 in my last design. So let's just do it right here. This looks good to me. Do it right here, next to where all the wood is stored. Right here. Right here. Perfect. All right. So we don't need to store meat or anything there. I'm going to do fish. And we're not going to do meat here anymore. So we can do, honestly, berries. I think, or berry. Yeah, berry brew, actually. Or maybe we should stop storing alcohol. We have way more than enough alcohol storage. We need that berry storage more than anything. All right. And over here we have more wheat. I'm going to make more room for wheat. Perfect. Because you only have so many transporters, I think it is actually kind of good to specialize. Like this is bread, flour, wheat, boars, and meat. And then this area up here could definitely do that too. But I'm just going to have them focus on milk and cheese. Okay. Right. So we got the guard city watch over there. It says unguarded locations, but I'm not noticing we're having any negatives or any warnings. So I think we're in good shape. So this is the big kicker right now. It's just getting all these planks. We can always turn off industries. All right, 146 wheat. That's not bad. That's not bad. We should be able to keep up bread production now. Fish are great. Berries are like, eh. Meat is like right there teetering. It's like, I think shirts are the big one right now. And we're just not producing enough. But I'm hoping now that we're producing a lot of cloth, be in good shape. This is 2 shirts for 1 cloth, okay? I think out of an abundance of caution, we are just going to boot up another tailor in this area. Might as well. Alright, now I just need to kind of let them play catch up. So we've queued a bunch of jobs for them. They are doing quite a bit. House is going to be destroyed. Yeah, it keeps saying that, but it was this house. We're doing good. I don't think there's any demand. This is a perfect plot size right here, so let's see. Yeah, I don't see any more houses popping up. I'll just leave it there for now. It's kind of nice having a little separate area for housing. They can walk themselves back if they need food or anything. I guess they'll be like a little inefficient in that regard, but we'll see what happens. All right, they're doing a good job here. They got plenty of wood to cut down. The boards are coming up pretty well. I think this is doing great. And the sawmill there is fantastic. I'm not seeing the other sawmill that I built. Right there, perfect. Let's increase the prioritization on that. See, this is the bad thing. The tavern's doing great, but you know, you can only do so much. We got good labor splendor here, 74. And I don't really know if that's doing anything. But I hope it does. All right, we got a little bit of money. We got a little bit of points too. Let's buy a tavern labor splendor package. Okay, so I want to do it. Paved roads are going to be necessary here soon. The clergy, definitely want to get that. So you need a few things here. We want bees. Oh, I definitely want that. We're going to need a kitchen, architecture, oyster, buy everything but the treasury. Perfect. Down here, I think I'm going to get tier 4 decorations. We're going to spend the money. But let's see, what did we get from the clergy there? Empty slot. So let's look. Trade price bonus of 10% from village with clergy allegiance. Not bad. 25% food satisfaction. But we can tax churches. Upkeep reduced by 25%. Gain influence every time you trade. We're gonna tax the church. Yeah, that's kind of like that's a good one. You can see though, impact on labor influence pretty severe. Looks like I can tax one or the other. Okay. Well, I do want to hold off because I do need labor influence to get the remainder of the points here. So we should probably try to unlock everything before we go that route. Okay, cool. Good to know. The bridge is coming along nice. Looks like we're keeping up with bread production now. Fruit production's definitely something that needs attention. All right. But yeah, once a lot of this stuff gets up, then our demands suddenly will change again. But this will house an enormous amount of people. All right, cool. Another sawmill. This will really help us out. We just need boards so badly. Not a good deal. It's not a good deal. That's a lot of wood for just a little bit of money. Okay, 43 cloth. Perfect. We need to prioritize the tailor. We're running out of shirts. We're actually starting to run out of wool, but we have a lot of cloth, so usually you want to have one. Kind of weird. I think you need 2 sheep and 3 weavers and 3 tailors. I think that's kind of like what I've kind of noticed is probably optimal. As far as sheep go, though, I can place the sheep anywhere. I mean, I could totally do a coastal sheeper right here. All right, yeah, more aquatic sheep for the win. We'll get that up. Ooh, it's like the way that it's red. All right, there we go. This is looking pretty good. Hoping with the new board generation, we're going to be in good shape. But yeah, you don't want to upgrade to the next tier until you're ready. And you really need to make sure you have luxury goods. We need to make sure that everything else is in order. Because you just lose them. And then you just lose a lot of people. And you have to start all over again. Getting them up. So I learned the hard way not to upgrade people beyond your capacity to retain them, basically. Alright, bread's looking okay. Getting up the dairy farms. That will help out. Gatherer huts are doing their best job. But yeah, every soul I add here just makes it harder. Eventually, the monastery is going to produce some of these foods. All right, wheat seems to be doing pretty darn decent now. So flour should start keeping up. All right, look at that. We got these guys all into heavy density. There's open living spaces, so we got more than enough room. I like this little shack over here, though. Yeah, fishermen, unemployed, perfect. That's perfect. Little fisherman shack right there. All right, we're keeping up. We're keeping up. Almost 200 coins coming in from the tavern alone. That's pretty good. Stone is just keeping up production. Kind of scary. That's not bad. Wondering what they're doing with... Yeah, okay, the houses require 20 stone a pop. I was like, why do we need so much? Tools is the big kicker. We're trying to buy as much as we possibly can, but... Let's go to the Great Hall and see if we can increase any of our trade routes. All right, we're gonna buy labor influence with money. That's a good one. We definitely need more labor influence. Great to get the 4th privilege. City stone bridge, glassworking, sculptures, cooperage. We don't really need any of that right now. All right, it seems like we're producing enough bread. Over here, it feels like not doing a good job. That's all right. Cool. We got a lot of new buildings up. All right, we should start cranking out shirts now. Let's go and upgrade anybody. We just hired a bunch of new professionals. Upgrade, upgrade. That was it. All right. Yeah, the ×3 bug, it does seem to be just kind of odd. It's like we have a better hunter situation than we've ever had, and they seem to be doing worse. Like, they got boars everywhere. Right next to them. Almost wondering what I need to do here. But yeah, we're in good shape. We should probably even reforest. I mean, we don't need to. We don't want to cut down any of the trees, but the forest is thick and the cows will do a great job. And we're bringing in lots of boars. We're bringing in a good chunk of meat. Like everything is fine. But it skips about. Sometimes you get more than you think you'll get, and sometimes you get less than you think you should get. Go, another boar. Yeah, see, look how quickly they move the boars too. It's great. Let's make sure that we don't have any kind of weirdness going on. Like, yeah, we have boars down here. That's great. They were doing really well with the boars down there. That's what's kind of scary. And here, the boars are like literally right next to them. And they seem to take forever. But I just need to make sure that we don't have open hunting grounds in weird areas. All right, it looks like the bridge is ready. Trying to figure out why we're getting less boars. I mean, I do wonder actually. Like, even though we have them right here, I wonder if putting them ooh, yeah. All right, we're gonna maneuver these guys because the granary will come pick them up. But if we put one right here, it's like a little bit closer to everything. You know what I mean? Let's just move one right there. But I've noticed it's really important to have those guys right on top. All right. So let's see. What do we got? What do we got right here? All right. We already got boar and meat right there. All right. So this is the cheese. So we're just going to do 2 milks and 2 cheeses. And that's kind of like all she wrote. We only need 2 people really for that. Everything else is going to go into production. Nice. All right. Let's get some more sheep going. All right. Just enough room here. There we go. I got to make it official. Waterworld. Aquatic sheep 2. Perfect. All right. It's legit now. We got beautiful sea floor. That should help us because we're gonna need more there. We're making enough every other thing, but yeah, our resources are going much faster now in this higher population. It gets a little bit trickier to maintain higher pop for sure. Cool. They started building out that next house, so we can shave that down. Perfect. All right, that's good enough for me. I'm just gonna do the 2 houses there, and we'll leave it at that. There we go. We're starting to get the planks going pretty well. Wood's great. Everything else is great. It looks like, oh yeah, look at that. We had 18. Now we have 1. That was so weird. Production input. Wow, they just took 16 to the slaughter. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think the guys here are doing a great job. Let the granary workers come and move things into they need to be. The baker, we need to pop him up. All right, let's go down the list and make sure everyone is at full employment. Happiness is 82, so we're doing a pretty good job. All right, everyone but that one transporter is fully employed. We're going to need quite a few people, to be honest, for some of the new infrastructure that's coming in. I mean, it's kind of amazing because fish, we have 3 people, and fish are just off the rails. We got so much fish. I almost wonder, let's actually take a moment to, I'm going to upgrade this commoner. So they need 2 refined food. I see. So, I mean, she's not even eating the berries. They want... Okay, so that's why a lot of our refined foods are going faster. So meat is actually incredibly important. Okay. All right, so we have a lot of boars in this area. We're going to get a second hunters up. Cheese is going to be huge, but yeah, we got to really start busting out refined foods. That's why we have so many fish. I think the commoners are eating a lot of the berries. Realistically speaking, I should probably stop serving berries. And maybe I don't need those people to make berries, to be honest. Maybe I should just have them serve extra. I should just have them start serving cheese. We can serve veggies, but I think veggies is a rustic, it's not processed. So, I mean, I could have the monastery make that stuff. But, yeah, so we got to get this place going strong. Soon we'll have more sheep. That will be good. So we're making really good use of our industrial area by using the seafloor. It's honestly smart. I know a lot of people say they hate it, but like look at all of that land that I'm able to use using the seafloor like that. It's really good. And I can keep my production really close to my storage for that reason too. Otherwise, it costs 15 a month to rent an area like that. All right, we got a bunch of money. So we just want to spend a little bit of it. So I'm just going to start buying a couple things over there. Need to leave enough to buy tools. All right, we have 51 tools. Perfect. Okay, so we really shouldn't have any things holding us back now. And hopefully we can get these cheesers up here soon. That's going to be major. But yeah, definitely want to get more hogs. Maybe even get another butcher. Oop, there's our dairy farm. So I didn't notice a difference when I was doing my dairy farm. I did not notice a difference of it being short or long. You'll see that the worker goes out and like literally milks the cow But like from my perspective, it didn't matter if they were walking or anything, and it didn't matter what cow they were milking. Like I don't think it matters. It's kind of like sheep. Um, so you can do really long plots like so, and you'll be fine. What matters is how close the workers are. You can see the workers are right here, so they're just going to come right out and get right to work. Perfect. All right, so we need to keep attracting individuals. I think we're getting close. I want to fill those 3 there, and then with bread. So I'm hoping the cheese, the bread, and the meat, that's going to really seal the deal. Because commoner, like serfs are easy. They want rustic food, which is berries, vegetables, and fish. So yeah, we don't need, we have more than enough fish. So I think we're going to stop feeding them berries, and we don't need any more berry people. So I think what we'll do over here with the monastery is just actually focus on honey for the luxury. We can also sell honey if we want to get to that point. Find services, so upgrade him. So refined food, 2 out of 2. So this is the hard thing, is having multiples. Service, that's the easiest. And then entertainment, that's also easy. And then clothing. So like clothing and alcohol production are major. So yeah, we're going to stop eating the berries. We're going to eat fish only. And I can even expand, or I could have the monastery grow vegetables. Vegetables are really easy. Probably easier than doing berries for food. So let's focus on kind of getting in on those areas and making sure that we're optimizing this. I think we're going to need another grain farm, but it's a lot of people. My problem with it is it's just so many people. All right, get a 3rd dude up. All right, there we go. That's good. We'll do the other guy next. That should get us a bunch of milk right there. And what's cool, like I said, is it doesn't disturb the forest, so you can have multiple people getting things for you. So we're going to have meat. You can see now we have 254 wheat, and we're still going. That's the ×3 bug. It's like sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. It's really weird. But I think we found a good equilibrium and people are happy. That's the most important thing. A lot of these houses are now getting upgraded, so we do have room for a lot of folk. And peasants can live in the same higher tier commoner housing. You just need one commoner as a residence to maintain that quality. So you don't have to worry that if you upgrade a house that peasants won't be able to live there. They will. They'll be fine. So we got a good thing going over there. We got the bridge over here. Yeah, I think we're probably only going to need the monastery for honey. That's great. It's a little far away, but honey can be dragged. All right. So let's see. We're going to need this for sure. I think I'm actually going to be a little weird, but I'm kind of wanting to put the storage for everything right here as a midpoint. It doesn't make a... I guess they can run it back. Okay, yeah, I'll put it right here. Right, and then the apiary. Oh, we just placed that right here. I'm going to place another one right here. Place 2 apiaries. Build all. Sub-building. So the kitchen, I can do wheat and honey. I can do veggies and cheese. I can do herbs and bread. I went with the wheat and honey one since it's all like kind of in this area. So we're going to need to get a kitchen. And we're just going to need a place for people to sleep. And I think it's the monks that live here. All right, monks. So this is going to be a pretty quaint little area, you know what I mean? Like, its sole purpose is to produce luxury goods, to be honest. Build all. And it looks like we need a chimney on this. That's not bad. All right, we'll get that chimney. Herbs could be good. Yeah, we'll get an herb garden. I don't think we need too many of these. I think you can actually get away with just a couple. You can always build more. All right, honey and herbs. So we're just going to kind of focus on some goods that will help the town out. The berry garden is great, but we don't need it right now. And we're probably going to want to get a church up over here too for them. We'll just get something small. All right, cool. We'll go with that for now. So this thing is just going to store honey, herbs, and golden gruel. That's going to be the food that we make with the honey and the grain. And we'll leave it there for now. That'll be perfect. All right, we got more things. We need more people now. All right, boom, boom. Get that up. All right, that should bring in the meat. Oh, the cheese maker. All right. So yeah, we need a good selection of people now. Okay, we got a lot done. All right, we're getting all that there. We got the monastery going up now. This is perfect. So more in the next chapter.